Well, good morning and welcome to Wiltshire Music Center and the virtual My Science Fair Lab. Now, My Science Fair, as many of you know, is a live event that takes place every year at Wiltshire Music Center. And normally we would welcome as many as 800 to 1,000 participants coming through the centre across the day for a morning of concerts, demonstrations, experiments and all the rest. This year is obviously a little bit different. We've had to go virtual, like with the rest of the world, to continue to deliver our creative learning programme. But we are delighted to be joining you this morning for a fantastic, busy schedule of activities. We have the brilliant Fun Science In with Chemical Cress to kick off My Science Fair as usual with some explosive experiments. Following that, Rap Science John Chase will be exploring the world of scale in a brand new bespoke rap show. And the music doesn't stop there. Following that, we go straight in to Rock the Tots, a perennial favourite of Wiltshire Music Centre, and they will be bringing stars to life with an exciting programme of musical numbers. Now, this event is brought to life by the Institute of Physics, who have supported this event, and we are delighted to have received their support. Thank you so much for everything that you do to make physics and science education possible in our community. Wiltshire Music Centre is a concert hall and community centre. You can find out more about all our activities that we're up to by going to www.wiltshiremusic.org.uk. You can find out more about the concerts that we offer and the creative learning activities as well. But now on to Science Fair. Are you ready? I can't quite hear you. Are you ready? I've always wanted to do that. Well, I know 4 people who are ready. They are students from the University of Bath. Now, the University of Bath Physics Department have played an important role in delivering this year's My Science Fair event, in particular supporting the delivery of our project competition, which we're going to see videos from later on today, as well as celebrating the fantastic hard work in our prize-giving ceremony at the end of the day. The other thing that they'll be doing is challenging you. We want you, as families, friends and households, to take on household tasks throughout the day. Now, the household tasks will be based on topics that were explored by our young scientists in the project competition. The project competition, of course, is open to 5 to 11-year-olds from across our area. They can explore a range of different topics from outside the classroom. This year, they were asked to tackle sound, scale and stars, and we're joined this morning straight off the bat by our sound team. Guys, can you give us a wave? Hello. Let's start off. Let's go top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right. Please, can you introduce yourself? Starting off, Michaelis.
Oh, hi everyone. I'm Michaelis.
Hi, I'm Julian.
Hi everybody, I'm Rikesh.
And hi, I'm Elise.
It's fantastic to have you here today, and you have a little task to set for our participants. Can you tell us more about it, please?
Yes, we do. So we want you to do an experiment on sound. Now, sound is really important. Without it, us and other animals would struggle to survive. When bats, for example, use sound to see, but many loud noises really make it hard for them to move around. Sometimes whales can even get confused and become lost in the oceans. These unwanted loud noises are called noise pollution. So in this experiment, we hope to show you how noise pollution can affect animals and why it's important for the natural surroundings to stay quiet.
So your task will be to test how difficult it becomes for animals to navigate around when there's lots of noise. For this particular experiment, you'd need at least 2 people and something to take pictures on, such as phone or a camera. So one person is going to be the navigator and the other will be the target. You will have to blindfold the navigator and then have the target move to somewhere else in the room and stand still there. The target will then have to make some sounds. Maybe they can shout or talk, and the navigator is going to move around the room and try to get to the target. Now, this is kind of similar to how animals use sound to find things in their environment. After you've done that, try adding background noise to the mix and see if it's any harder for the navigator to actually get to the target.
So, you can create noise in lots of ways. You might want to play an instrument, copy the sound of a loud motorbike, or shout. You can also make background noise using your phones, a computer, or TV, for example. Now, try adjusting the volume of the noise. Does it make it harder or easier to find the target? What about if you have the noise polluters moving around whilst making noise? You can come up with your own creative ideas to make this experiment as challenging and as fun as possible.
You will have 20 minutes, 20 minutes to do this experiment, and it's really important that you're very careful whilst you're doing it. Make sure that the floor is clear, the surroundings are safe, and that an adult is present. Remember to take lots of pictures and videos that are no longer than 20 seconds. There should be a phone number in the description down below for you to send your pictures and videos in via WhatsApp, or you can email them to creativelearning@wiltshiremusic.org.uk. So reminder, you've got 20 minutes to do the experiment and send us all your pictures and videos. Good luck everybody, be careful and have fun.
That sounds fantastic. So to recap, what we want you to do is to blindfold one person in your house potentially and make lots of noise and see if they can find a specific spot. So you gave some examples of some noises that they can make. Would you remind them potentially, Elise, of how they could maybe set themselves up around the house?
So just one of you blindfolded, move the other person somewhere else in the room. Get them to make some noise. Maybe they want to talk, or maybe if your mum and dad will allow you to smack a pan with a wooden spoon or something, make some noise. And then the person who's blindfolded got to navigate around using only their ears, using only sound to try to find them. And then for background noise, maybe you want to play some music. You could put the TV on in the background. Just something that might make it a little bit harder, it might make it easier. It's your job to find out.
So their task is to find the other member of your family who's in another part of the house maybe, whilst there's background noise going on behind you, and it's quite difficult to be able to do that. And now, Julian, can you talk to me a little bit about noise pollution? So what are we looking to discover by taking part in this experiment?
So what we're hoping for you to discover is how noise pollution can affect us, and it also affects, animals and nature. And especially with, if you think of traffic, for example, and with, there's a lot more cars on the road, and that can essentially affect especially a lot of the animals in nature, because as we mentioned earlier, animals such as bats and whales use sound to navigate, and if there's lots of background noise, they can't really navigate, and they'll struggle to find food, find their friends, and essentially they can get really lost, confused, and go hungry. So this is our goal at, sort of raising awareness about this. So
it's a really important thing, and it sounds like a really fun experiment. Now, we are really excited to see how you do this at home. This is an interactive event, and what we're asking from you is to send us photos and videos of no more than 20 seconds, so that we can share them and enjoy seeing you taking on all of these experiments. You can WhatsApp any photos or videos to 01225 860 110. You can find that in the YouTube description below, and you can also scan using your WhatsApp app this QR code right here. So I'm going to give you a moment to be able to do that. If you scan it on your screens using your smartphone, you will be set up with a chat to Wiltshire Music Center to be able to send the details. I'll give you another moment to do that now. Now, you have 20 minutes to complete this task. The timer is just here. The timer will also be with us as we transition to our first demonstration, which will be playing along in the background whilst you take on your experiment. The first demonstration will be fun science. Chemical Crest is back for a whiz pop bang experiment. Whilst it's getting going, you will see the timer in the corner of your screens as we go. Now, once we get to the end of the 20 minutes, you will hear this noise. You hear that there? That will tell you that you should have sent in your photos and videos by then. So just a reminder, you can WhatsApp us on 01225 860 110. That's in the video description. Or you can email us at creativelearning@wiltshiremusic.org.uk so we can see what you're up to. Ready to be a part of the fun? Scientists, are you ready to go?
Yeah.
Yes.
Brilliant. And
Yeah,
we shall
of course.
start the timer now. And the clock is running. Good luck, folks. I will now pass over to the auditorium where Chemical Cress is ready and raring to go. Cress.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to my science fair. My name is Chemical Cress, and today, because our theme is all about sound, I'm going to be showing you some sound experiments. Lots of the experiments that I show you will be things that you'll be able to do yourselves at home. So I'm hoping you're all going to join in with me at home. Because we're doing a sound show, I'm going to start us off by making a sound. There are all sorts of ways that you can make different sounds, and we're going to talk about loads of them today. But I like to start each show with a bit of an explosion. Now, my explosion today is not going to be a big scary bang, it's just going to be a small pop. And to make my small pop, I'm going to do a chemical reaction. So I'm starting off with a test tube. I've got my test tube here, and then in this cup, it's just some normal water that I got from the tap just now. I'm going to use a pipette to fill up my tube with a little bit of water. I'm going to fill it to about halfway. Now, I've also got with me an effervescent tablet. Effervescent just means fizzy. So when I drop this tablet into water, it's going to start fizzing and bubbling. I've got my tablet here. I'll drop it in, and then I'm going to put the lid on. Now, what's happening is that tablet is mixing with the water and doing a chemical reaction to make a gas called carbon dioxide. Now, hopefully you saw that, but also you will have heard that popping noise. So what we're going to talk about today is how that noise was created, how it travels through the air, and also how your brain knows to hear that specific sound. So to begin with, we're going to talk about how sound is created. Now, sound is created anytime you have a vibration. So the word vibration is just the scientific word for something that is shaking. You can get a vibration if you clap, like this. Sometimes you can get a vibration if you twing an elastic band, like this. And maybe if you play a musical instrument, that creates a vibration as well. And another way that you create vibration is by speaking. So our first experiment is so simple for you to join in with at home. All you need is your own body. So you're going to need your hand, and you're going to need your throat. So the first thing I would like you to do is to take your hand, put it like this, gently by your throat, and say something. If you've got somebody near you, you could say hello to them. If not, you could just say hello to the camera. Just try speaking in your normal speaking voice. Now, hopefully, you will have felt with your hand, your vocal cords, that's the thing inside your throat that makes the noise, they were vibrating. And hopefully you could hear that vibration with your ears, and you could feel that vibration with your hand. Now, we're going to try making some different sounds. So we're going to start off by whispering. So what I'd like everybody to do, just like before, take your hand, put it over your throat, and we're going to say the word whisper, but we're going to do it in a whisper. So after 3, we're going to whisper the word whisper. 1, 2, 3. Whisper. You might have noticed that that time you couldn't feel anything. That's not because your vocal cords weren't shaking. They were still shaking, but they weren't shaking enough for you to be able to feel it. So when you make a quiet sound, it's a very small vibration, sometimes too small for you to be able to feel. Now we're going to try the opposite. We're going to shout the word shout. And just like before, I want you to see if you can feel the vibration in your throat. So we'll do it together. You can do it with me. We'll say 3, 2, 1, and then I want you to put your hand over your throat gently and shout the word shout. Ready? 3, 2, 1, shout! Hopefully that time you felt your vocal cords vibrating much more. So a louder sound comes from a bigger vibration. So we have a small vibration when we whisper and a really big vibration when we shout or when we talk loudly. And the vibration changes depending on how high or low we are speaking. So we're going to try it again. This time, let's do a very low sound. You can just use your normal speaking volume. Take your hand, put it gently over your throat, and we'll go 3, 2, 1, and we're all going to say the word low, and we're going to say it in a very low tone of voice, like that. Ready? 3, 2, 1, low. Hopefully you felt your vocal cords shaking again. Now let's try doing the word high in a really, really squeaky, high-pitched voice. After 3, you can do it with me. So 3, 2, 1, high. I couldn't feel my vocal cords shaking at all when I did that. Now, actually, they are still shaking. They have to be shaking for me to be making any kind of noise. But they're shaking so fast that you can't feel them. So a slow vibration makes a low sound, and a really, really fast vibration makes a higher pitched sound. So we're going to move on to doing that with this speaker that I've got here. I've connected it up to a tablet, and on this tablet I've got an app which will make lots and lots of different sound waves. There are all sorts of apps that do this. Loads of them are completely free to download. So that could be something that you could ask a grown-up to download and play around with yourselves. Now, this speaker, if I put my finger on it, I'm going to be able to feel it shaking. So it's going to shake slowly when I do a low sound, and it's going to shake really, really fast when I do a high-pitched sound. You're all at home, so you won't be able to feel my speaker. So I'm going to put a little bit of rice on my speaker so that you can see the vibration. So the speaker will shake the rice, and you'll be able to see how that speeds up. So I'll put some rice on the speaker now to start us off. And then I'm going to start with a vibration that's 20 hertz. Now that is the lowest sound that humans can hear. But actually, you've got to have really good hearing to be able to hear that. And even though technically some humans can hear a sound that low, most of you probably won't be able to hear it to begin with. So I'll start playing it. And this speaker is shaking slightly. It's very, very slow. And I'll stop talking for a second to see if anybody can hear it, but don't worry if you can't. Most people can't hear frequencies this low. So to most of you, that probably sounded like silence, and that's okay. We're going to increase the frequency and watch the rice, and hopefully when that speaker starts to shake faster, you will be able to hear the noise because it will come into the frequency that you can hear, and also you'll see the rice start to shake and dance around. So we're getting a higher pitched sound, and also the rice is starting to move much faster until we get up to about, that's 125 hertz, so it's shaking much faster, and the rice has all bounced off. I'm going to keep going And this time you'll have to use your sense of hearing rather than your sense of sight. And see if you can hear that frequency getting bigger. So, the faster it shakes, the higher the sound. Now we've got ourselves up to about 200 hertz now. I'm just going to pause it because I want to tell you about a superpower that children have that adults don't have, which is that as you get older, you stop being able to hear some sounds. So I'm going to increase the frequency. I'm going to make it really fast, which will make a really high-pitched sound. I reckon some children at home will be able to hear some of these sounds, and some grown-ups might not be able to hear them, because that's where children have that super hearing. So I'm going to go up a little bit. I'm going to go to about 1,300 hertz. It'll be quite a high, squeaky noise, so if you don't like the noise, stick your fingers in your ears for this part of the video. I'll play it now. It's really high-pitched, and some people might be able to hear that. Some grown-ups might not have been able to hear that, and that's absolutely fine. That's really normal. The older you get, the less you can hear high-pitched sounds. I'll do one more. I'm going up to about 17,000 hertz, and I'm going to press play on this one. Now, I can't hear that sound, but some children at home might well be able to, because you've got that special super hearing, which is really, really cool. So that's how we make different sounds. It's all to do with how big the shake is, how big makes it loud, and small makes it quiet, and how fast it is. So if it's really slow, it's low, and if it's really fast, it makes a high-pitched noise. But how does that sound get from being in your voice or in the speaker to being in your ear? Well, that's what we're going to talk about next. So it travels through the air. And sometimes people think that air is just made of nothing. But there's a really easy way to prove that wrong. What you need to do, you can all do this. Take your hand like this, a bit like a ninja. Take your hand and move it like this, from side to side, as big as you can. Careful you don't hit the person next to you. You can actually feel the air on your hand when you do that. And what you're feeling is molecules of air, they're really, really small, hitting against your hand. And it's those molecules of air that shake to pass that shake through the air and to your ears. Now, I need a volunteer for this next experiment. So I've asked Cassie to come and help me. And she's going to come up to the stage, and she's going to hold the other end of this slinky. This is another really cool thing that you can do yourselves at home. All you need is a spring like this. Now, Cassie's just going to hold that end up to her ear, and I'm going to have this end near my mouth. So imagine I speak, and it creates a vibration. Let's say I say something quite quiet and low. So I'm talking quietly and low. That's going to make quite a small sound wave, like this, and it's quite a slow one too. And what happens is my voice shakes the air molecules here, which shake the air molecules all the way to Cassie's ear. If I do something that's high-pitched and loud, like this, then what it will be is like this, much faster and much bigger. And that's a much faster and bigger vibration passing to Cassie's ear. Thank you very much, Cassie. Brilliant. So the sound wave is created at our voice or our music maker, and it passes through the air. And then it reaches our ear, and it shakes our ear. So hopefully you could see it's just a shake that's being passed from one place to another. The ear is really, really complicated. I've got a model ear here, and if I take this off, you can actually see how complicated it is inside. So the sound travels, first of all, to something called an eardrum, which is exactly what you might think. It's a bit like a drum, it's a bit like the skin of a drum, and it shakes when a vibration passes to it. After that, the shake travels to 3 tiny bones. They're the smallest bones in the human body, and they start to shake. When they shake, they pass the shake on to some liquid in your ear, and that starts to shake as well. Finally, that passes the shake onto some tiny little hairs, and it's them that send a signal to your brain to tell you what you've heard. So you might be wondering, if all the important stuff about hearing goes on in this section, why do we have this big ear on the outside of our head? Why is it so big? And why don't we just have a tiny little ear hole? Well, this is where I'm going to have Cassie back again to help me with another experiment. So this time, we're going to be sending pretend sound waves through the air, and Cassie is going to try and catch them. My sound waves for today are going to be made out of fog. So to begin with, I'll just show you my fog machine and what I'm going to do with my air cannon. I'm going to fill the air cannon with fog. And just before I ask Cassie to try and catch anything, I'm just going to show you. If I pull this back, it sends a fog ring, which is going to be our sound wave, straight across like that. Now, I'm going to pretend that I am the noisemaker, and this is my sound wave, and I want to send the sound over to Cassie's ears. Now, Cassie is going to use a hoop for her ear. We're going to start off with a small hoop. So imagining that we've only got those tiny little ear holes. Well, Cassie's quite close to me, so let's see if her tiny ear hole can pick up my sound wave when I fire it at her. Ready? Perfect. Let's see if I can send another one through. Brilliant. So the sound wave, when Cassie was stood next to me with her tiny little ear hole, it was easily able to get through, and she'd be able to pick up that sound. But the problem is, like my fog, sound starts to spread out the further it goes, and it gets harder and harder for people to hear. So Cassie, could you stand a little bit further away from me now, and see if you can still pick up that sound wave with that tiny little hole? I'll just put a little bit more fog in my fog blaster. There we go. Ready? So see, Cassie, if you can pick up this sound wave now. Oh, it was a bit more difficult. Should we have another go? Almost, but I think you missed part of it. So if you had a tiny little ear hole, you might be able to catch sound waves that were close to you, but it would be really difficult to hear things that were really, really far away. So Cassie, why don't you try with a bigger hoop? If you've got a bigger hoop, hopefully it'll be way easier to pick up those sound waves. Let's give it a go. Okay, so let's see if you can pick them up. Now you've got a bigger hoop. Wow, brilliant. Easy. And they're just flying on through. And you can see it's much easier to catch sound waves when you've got something bigger to catch them with. Thank you very much, Cassie. So that's why we have these big ears on the outside of our head. They help to catch sound waves and send them into our ear canal. That's the tube that takes the sounds to our brain. You might sometimes notice if somebody's really struggling to hear something, they might do this and put their hands by their ears. And that just makes the funnel for the sounds even bigger. And it does help. So if you're ever struggling to hear something, if you put your hands behind your ears like this, it can help to bring those sound waves into your ears, into your ear canal, so that you can hear a little bit better. So the sounds have gone from our sound maker through the air and to your ears. But actually, there's another part of the body involved in hearing that you might not have thought about before, and that's actually your eyes. So your brain might hear loads and loads of different sounds. And your ears are pretty good at telling the difference between different sounds, but sometimes they need a little bit of help. And your eyes do actually play a big role in hearing. Now, to show you what I mean, I'm about to show you a video. Now, in this video, it's a man, and he's going to be saying 3 different things. He's going to start off by saying ba, 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 then da, da, and then va, va. But at the end, he might do something that might surprise you. So we'll play that video now, and then I'll talk about what happened afterwards.
Ba ba, ba ba, ba ba. 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 Ba ba, ba ba, ba ba.
So I'm hoping you noticed at the end, when you had the picture of that man saying all three different things on the screen at the same time, that actually the whole way along he was just saying ba ba. He never actually said da da or va va. But because your eyes are so important in hearing, your eyes saw his lips making the da and va sounds, and they will have tricked your brain into thinking that that's what you were hearing. So your eyes are really, really important. And I'm going to show you another video. This one's a little bit silly. I've taken a famous song, which is actually in Latin, and put some English subtitles along it. Now, the words that you'll see, they are not what the man is singing. But because your brain will be reading them, it will trick your brain into thinking that this person is singing all sorts of silly things that he's not really saying. Have a look at this video. So you will have just seen and hopefully heard a man singing all sorts of funny and silly things that he didn't really sing. If you'd heard that voice without those subtitles, you wouldn't have thought he was saying those things. But it's so easy to trick our brains into thinking that we've heard something just because it's what our brains have expected to hear based on the subtitles. So your eyes are really important in hearing too. Now, I want to leave you with one last experiment, and it's a fairly easy experiment to do at home. You might not have all of those things that I'm about to show you, but they're all quite simple things to get hold of. I've got a vacuum tub. So this is used for storing food. It can make a partial vacuum, which means I can suck air out of this tub. It can't make a complete vacuum. It would have to be made out of something super strong to be able to do that, but it will make a partial vacuum. I've also got one mobile phone in here that I'm just going to make sure that it's nice and loud so we can hear it. And I've got another mobile phone that I'm going to ring this one with, because I want to show you the difference in sounds when we have lots of air and when we have not very much air. So let's start off. I'm going to give that phone a ring, and you should hear it, and it's just ringing fairly normally. So this is just a really simple experiment that you can try. It doesn't even have to be two mobile phones. Anything that makes sound will work. Let's give it a go. I'll try ringing it and see what happens. If I take the lid off as well, you'll be able to hear even more. Hopefully everybody can hear that phone ringing. I'm going to hang up for a moment. Now this time, I'm going to take some of the air out. Remember earlier when we used that slinky, we learnt that sound has to have something to travel through. So if I took all the air out, it would be completely silent and we wouldn't be able to hear the phone ringing at all. I'm not going to take all the air out, I'm just going to take some out. And I'm going to use this pump. It might look like I'm pumping air into the tub, but actually I'm doing the opposite. I'm pumping air out of it. And you might notice it looks like it's quite difficult for me to do. And that's because air likes to stay the same. It doesn't want to be pumped out into the rest of the room. It likes to stay equal. So now there's much less air in that tub than before. We should still be able to hear the phone ringing a little bit, but it should be much, much quieter. So I'll give it a ring. Now, I can hear it, but it's really, really quiet. It might be difficult to hear the difference. So let's hear what happens when I release this and let the air back in. Perfect. So it was a little bit louder. And one last time to show you what it sounds like with the lid off, I'll ring it one more time. That's much, much louder. So when there's a normal amount of air in there and the sound wave can get out and to our ears, it's much easier to hear. Now that's the end of all of our experiments for today. Hopefully everybody's enjoyed themselves and you've seen lots and lots of experiments that you might be able to try yourselves at home.
Thank you so much, Chemical Cress. What an explosive start to this year's event. And thank you to all of you at home. We have had so many fantastic photo and video submissions. I'm joined again by our friends from the University of Bath. Guys, how did you enjoy the morning's experiment?
Loved it.
There's so much exciting stuff in there.
It was great.
Brilliant. Well, I'm really glad you enjoyed, and hopefully
Lots
you'll
of,
really enjoy these as well,
interesting
because we've had submissions from all sorts of people showing us what they've been up to. Now, can you remind us of the task, potentially, Rakesh, that you asked our people to do at home?
Yeah, so absolutely. We wanted you to try and mimic a situation with animals in the natural world. So with our task, we were hoping one person would be blindfolded and another person somewhere else in the room would be sending signals to them, sound signals, for the blindfolded navigator to find them. Now in the mix there should have been some different sounds made by your computers or even other people around to try and hinder that process, but hopefully you guys enjoyed it and you noticed that it was much harder to navigate with lots of sounds, which is what happens in the natural environment.
Brilliant, and enjoy it they did. So our first photos and videos come from Joshua and Emily. And here we go. There's a photo of them. They've been testing. So Emily's obviously been searching away and Josh has been hiding in various locations. Not a particularly good hiding space, would you say, guys?
No, I think that's great. She might not get down there to find him.
Well, absolutely. And then Josh had a go with the blindfold as well. Can you see Emily in that photo at all?
I can't.
She must be off camera.
Yeah, she's done a pretty good job of hiding.
Well, they were all over the place, and they actually took a video from another part of the house entirely. Here we go. Here is the video of Joshua and Emily practicing. Shall we try that again? I think we had a little bit of issue with our sound. Let's try it again.
In the moonlight, what I've done before, will never be afraid of the dark. In the moonlight, we'll dance away.
Brilliant. So Josh managed to find Emily in the end. It's really cool. So what is the principle that they're learning about here, Michaelis? It's about location with sound. It's about noise pollution.
Yes, so they're learning that many animals can use sound to navigate, to find food or to find the places that they want to go. And humans have been interrupting this process. So by adding sounds to environments, sounds which we call noise pollution, it really makes it hard for animals to get to where they want to go. And this is something that they should have simulated. So you can see Joshua found Emily really easy when the sound was really quiet and Emily was singing. But imagine if there was a concert going on in their backyard, then Joshua wouldn't really be able to track down Emily. And that's something that is currently happening in the oceans with whales.
Well, brilliant. Well, thank you, Joshua and Emily, for that. And I think that Honor has been busy trying to find her dad in the living room, it seems. Let's go to our next video. This is Honor. Let's have a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. One cycle to vision.
There's no chance she's seeing out of that.
6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Then I let it go.
Brilliant. And she got there in the end. So there she was going about in roughly the right direction and managed to get it by the end there. So you'd encounter more difficulties if you had more noises presumably going on around the space.
Yeah, the more noises, the much harder it becomes.
Brilliant.
Like, as humans, we use our eyes to navigate, and you can see that blindfolding someone, everyone just raises up their hands and they're really confused, like, where do I go now? Imagine if you're using sound to navigate and then you have other noises.
It makes it really difficult. I can't imagine what it's like. Leela's had a go at imagining what it's like first thing this morning. She sent in a photo with an absolutely fantastic face mask on. I think that's my favourite blindfold of the morning so far. Take a look at that. It looks like they had success in hiding right behind her as well. That's a good job. So it shows how difficult it is. The moment that you take out your eyes, and you're relying purely on sound, as many animals do, then you get all sorts of things going on. Now we then move on to Caitlin and Georgia. Now Caitlin and Georgia have tried with other noises going on as well. I think Dad Craig has been busy in the background. Let's have a watch of this video now, shall we?
I'm going to make background noise.
Great outfits by both, by the way. That's fantastic.
Brilliant.
But that's the experiment that you were wanting there, Elise. So can you talk a little bit about that one?
That was great in terms of having the background noise. I think maybe being outside in that sense makes it a little bit easier. If their dad was to have moved around, that really would have kind of simulated what it's like for animals in the ocean as sounds kind of go past them, and that makes it so much harder for them to navigate. But I was impressed with that one because they did that one quite quickly. There was confidence in the walk towards the sound source there that I would not have had if I was blindfolded.
There was real confidence. I was amazed at the level of trust that they had there. And thank you to everyone for sending in your submissions. And we will be having these tasks throughout the day. And thank you to you guys as well. As we've been saying, these 4 students have joined us with a cohort of 12 University of Bath students, all of whom you will see today. And they have been a part of our project competition. Now, guys, what has it been like being a part of the project competition as judges? I'll start with you, Rakesh. You've encountered so many enthusiastic scientists in the past few weeks or so. Can you tell us a little bit about what the project competition has been like and how it feels seeing these young scientists explore their projects in such detail?
For me, it's been a really incredible experience, and it's been so heartwarming to see how engaged with the projects the participants got into it. I was blown away by their creativity and how much they genuinely enjoyed doing their experiments, and it was shown in their posters, in their videos, and the photos that they submitted. It's a real shame we couldn't interact more with them over the 6 weeks that they had, but I know from their submissions that they really enjoyed the project.
And it was great to see all of their projects, and they had 6 weeks to explore a topic in detail. And I remember yesterday, Julian, you saying that you could see a lot of, you know, what you were like as a child growing up in terms of your exploration of science, and how you could see that these could potentially become the scientists of the future. I don't know if you have anything to say about, you know, about how important it is to continue to study science outside of the classroom, and what these kind of experiences can mean.
Yeah, I mentioned yesterday, and even watching the videos today, how like it's just really interesting to see how inquisitive and how many questions they ask and how into it they're getting. Like some of like the video submissions we got today, you got to see how engaged and how excited they were doing it. And yeah, it's just good to see that you know, kids are just really engaged with science, and hopefully they're able to take it forward, link it with their hobbies. And yeah, it just sort of reminds me back of, yeah, when I was younger too, because I was a bit like that. So yeah.
It's brilliant to see, and you guys are going to see it now. So to recap, the My Science Fair project competition is a free opportunity for 5 to 11-year-olds to take part in science. Over the past 6 weeks, they have been exploring a topic of their choice from home with the help of the University of Bath Physics Department. What you're going to see is a compilation of videos explaining the topics that they were asked to explore, and then a look at some of the fantastic experiments that they took. So they produced them all from home with the help of their family and friends in their household. It's a My Science Fair project competition like no other, and we are really excited to share all of the hard work that they have been through. Take a look at this video now.
What is the smallest thing that you can think of? A leaf? An ant? Or maybe even a grain of sand? Scientists talk about the sizes of different objects by referring to their scales. An ant is much smaller than a leaf, so we say it's seen on a much smaller scale. But did you know that there are really small things in this world that we can't even see with our eyes?
Sounds are all around us. They can be high, low, loud, and soft. We rely on sound to communicate. But not just humans use sound. There are sounds in nature as well. We just have to listen.
Stars are not just dots of light in the night sky. They're a fundamental part of the universe. There are billions and billions of them, and they're all unbelievably far away. Even though the sun is the closest star to us, you'd still have to travel from London to Australia and back 5,000 times just to get there. That's almost 30 years on the plane, and that's just the closest star to us.
Your mission is to go out and investigate the scales of different objects, and maybe even discover more about atoms. Have fun and good luck.
So, what we want you to do now is to start investigating the sounds around you. You might want to look at whether they have a purpose or not, for example, with communication. Or whether they have no purpose, for example with noise pollution. You might want to investigate whether you see any patterns with your sounds, for example with the time of day they occur or the place they occur.
Your task is to create a project on an aspect of stars, whether it be their life, death, or anything related. It can take any form, from a poster, model, or whatever you can think of. Once you've got a taste for the true nature of stars, there are some bonus questions for you to consider on what else there is in space and far beyond.
Good morning and welcome to my science project. So last week I found out that I was 13 baked bean cans tall, and then I decided how many marshmallows fit into a baked bean tin can. So there's 1, then there's 2, then there's 3, then there's 4, then there's 5. So 5 marshmallows equal a baked bean tin can.
Today we're making nebulas again today, and we are experimenting with different power sources, and we're going to use the electric pump and hairdryer.
Hello. This is my project on stars. My question is, how do stars die? I used Minecraft and some command blocks to create stars. I did some research on YouTube and on the internet to find out about stars.
This is my project about stars. This is the sun. It is the closest star to the Earth. The second closest star is Proxima Centauri. And I have a constellation at the back. It is called the Big Dipper. A constellation is a group of stars you can see from the Earth. And up here we have the North Star. It can help travellers find their way.
So what have you done now?
I put the paper in.
But where have you? What's different from last time?
It's in the low bit, and I've put it in a different place.
And is it still stopping the vibration?
Last time, I haven't tried it out yet. Last time I put it like over these hammers, but now I'm putting it over the string.
Are you putting it over the string? Okay.
So, I have prepared a life cycle of a star, a chart of a life cycle of a star. So first comes a nebula. So what is a nebula? Nebula is an enormous cloud of dust and gas occupying the space between stars and acting as a nursery for a new star. So the nebula creates life cycle in 2 ways. First, it creates in this way, and second, it also creates in this way. That's made a little paint splat, but it's also made a dip here. Kind of makes it's not as loud.
Yeah, kind of makes it quieter.
And me and my mum did the maths to find out that I was 3,900 playing cards tall. I was 65 marshmallows tall. And I was 260 trebles tall, and being 13 baked bean tin cans tall.
Once a star is hot enough, hydrogen starts to turn into helium. This is called nuclear fusion, and it gives out energy for most of its life. The star is in balance between gravity pushing inwards and radiation pushing outwards. Stars are different colours such as red, white and blue.
Stars are not fixed. They are constantly moving. Due to Earth rotation, it seems like to be in a fixed position. A black hole can be formed by a death of a massive star. If a supernova explodes, it can left a neutron star or a black hole. Sirius A is the brightest star in Earth's night sky. Methuselah star is the oldest star in the universe. 1.3 million Earths can fit in our sun. Thank you.
And thank you, Rayanch, and all of the other fantastic participants who took part in this year's My Science Fair, a truly global event, the first time we've ever had participants take part from overseas as well. And this is our new digital world that we're able to explore. We'd obviously love to be welcoming you to Wiltshire Music Center for this year's My Science Fair, but in its place we've already had a fantastic fun morning with chemical and all your submissions from home. And the fun doesn't stop now. We have yet more fantastic activities coming your way. This event is supported by the Institute of Physics, whose funding has allowed us to put on this event. So thank you so much for that. It is also delivered by Wiltshire Music Center. We are a concert hall and community centre based in Bradford-on-Avon with an active creative learning programme. We are slowly coming back to life with activities taking place in our building slowly but surely, but we will continue to be delivering online as we are today with My Science Fair going virtual. And I'm joined again by more students from the University of Bath, and this is our scale team. These are the students who have been set the topic of scale. Different sizes, different things, different objects, and you are going to have an experiment coming your way very shortly. Guys, say hello, it's lovely to see you.
Hi.
Hi.
Morning.
How are you?
Very good, thank you. It's been a really fun morning so far. Can you introduce yourselves? We'll start off, we'll go top left, top right, bottom left, bottom right, please.
I'm top left, I can see. Hi, I'm Zuza. I'm actually calling in from Bulgaria, so another overseas person. I'm in my final year of physics, and I'll pass it on to the rest of my team.
Hi everyone, I'm also in my final year, but I'm specialising in astrophysics rather than just straight physics.
And hi, my name's Annabelle, and I'm physics as well in my final year.
Fantastic, and it's great to have you all on. Now, we'd like to know what our next task is. We've had lots of people tuning in from home, and they will need to be taking photos and videos. So guys, take it away. What's the next task for them to complete?
So first of all, go ahead, Annabelle. Go ahead.
So our area of expertise surrounds the idea of scales. The idea is that some things are much larger than others, and also some things are much. For example, you can think of how sandcastles are made of sand and how houses are made of bricks.
We want you to take this idea and create a portrait of someone in your family using small things you can find around the house. This could be anything from pasta in your kitchen cupboard to toilet paper found in your bathroom.
But we want you to be as creative as possible with it. So think about using different colours for the eyes and for the hairs, and different textures. If you have something stringy or hairy that you could use, be as creative as possible.
You now have, I think, 20 minutes, we've dedicated to create your masterpiece. We want you to be creative with it, and most importantly, have fun. Make sure you take a photo or a video of up to 20 seconds of your finished piece of art / science, so we can see the results, and send them in via email at creativelearning@wiltshire music.org.uk, or via WhatsApp or text message at 0122558. I'll post it in the chat. No.
Oh, well, we've got all the details, Zuza, so that's all great. But to recap then, your task, should you choose to accept it, is to create a portrait of a member of your house. Now, what we might want to see here is maybe two photos. We'd like to see a photo of the person and then a photo of the portrait. And the portrait, guys, you're saying it should be made out of smaller objects. Chris, if I start off with you, so what is the important thing that we're learning here? We're learning about scale, we're learning about building blocks. Can you talk a little bit about that, please?
Sure, Adam. So, as it turns out, everything in our universe is actually made of much, much smaller objects, which we call atoms. These are too small to see with the eye, but as it turns out, everything is made of these tiny, tiny building blocks. So essentially, we're learning about the fundamentals of how everything in the universe is constructed.
Brilliant. And we have an example actually that we can show you quickly just so that you can get ready. So when we move across to that, I know Annabelle, you've been busy this morning putting together this thing. Whilst we transition to it, can you just talk to me a little bit about what you made your portrait out of?
So yeah, the portrait was made out of tissue paper and also some stickers, as you can see, for the eyes. So it was just things that I had sitting around my home in an arts and crafts cupboard. Really, really easy. So that's all we want you to do. Find things around your home, anything at all, as creative as possible, just like this.
And can I ask who the portrait was of?
Oh, it's my sister.
Oh, it's your sister, is it? Brilliant. Well, it looks fantastic, and this is what we'd like you to do. This is a bit of an arts and craftsy one. So you've got 20 minutes to send in your submissions. Now, can you please send in your submissions to us either via WhatsApp, so you can do that by WhatsApping 01225 860 110. That's 01225 860 110. You can find that in the description below, or if you use your WhatsApp, you should have a scanning function to scan this QR code here. I'm still learning quite where this fits on the virtual set. It's just down there, there's the QR code. Scan that now and you will go into a chat with us where you can send us your photos and your videos. You can also email them to us at creativelearning, all one word, at wiltshiremusic.org.uk. Now, as with the last task, you've got 20 minutes to complete it, and you will be completing it alongside Rap Science. So John Chase of Rap Science has prepared a little experiment to showcase everything that you need to know about scale, as well as some brilliant raps, which I hope you can join us for. You can take part in them from home. Now, you'll have 20 minutes on the clock, and when the clock has finished, you should hear this noise to let you know that the timer has finished. There we go. So make sure you get in before the timer. Okay, guys, are you ready from home? Bath uni students, are you ready?
Yeah.
Brilliant. Let's start the timer now, and we're off to go. Brilliant. And now across to John. John.
Hi guys, how are you doing? I hope you're having a great time. My name's John Chase and I am a science communicator. And I've come here to Wiltshire Music Center to talk to you guys about size and scale. Now, my question is, what do you know about size and scale? Got some ideas? So, okay, how about this? Have a look around you. Look at some stuff. Look at your hands. Look at your arm. Look at your feet. How long is everything? And how do you know how big they are? Is it enough to just say, oh, it's that big? You know, what would you say? How long are you? How tall are you? See, some of you may have thought, I'm this amount of feet. What, my feet or your feet? Some of you might have said inches, you might have said it in meters. See, that's the point. There's so many different ways to talk about how big something is. So I just want to talk about some of the different ways we use to talk about all of this stuff. So how many different ways of measuring can you say? Go on, have a word with the people around you now. How many different types of measurement can you think of? So I'll give you a clue. You could say centimeters. Have you got any more? Inches? Okay, yep. Millimeters? Fantastic. Furlongs? Anyone? Miles? Kilometers? Okay, what about if you're in old school? What if I said to you a yard? How big is a yard? Do you know what that is? Yeah, well, here's the thing. See, we now know that a yard is about 3 feet. Okay, but what does all this mean? Where did they get it from? Well, actually, I read this the other day. A yard is how long it is from Henry I's tip of his nose to the tip of his thumb. Yeah, I know, it's a bit crazy, isn't it? Like, what if we don't have him anymore to measure it, okay? And what about an inch? Well, did you know an inch was actually how wide a man's thumb was? Not anyone's thumb, a man's thumb. But what if you're a particularly small man? See, a lot of the ways we used to measure length was based on a body and a human body. But the problem is, bodies are different sizes, isn't it? So we need standard ways of measuring things. And now we know exactly how much an inch is and exactly how much a meter is. But it's not just that. We also have different names for different amounts. For example, if you took a meter and then you made and you wanted to measure how small something was underneath it, you might say it's half a meter, it's 0.5 meters. You know, I'm not good with the points and point this and point that. Can you make it easier for me? I like normal numbers. So they say, do you know what? Instead of saying it's a meter, let's call it 100 centimeters. And therefore we could say half of that is 50 centimeters. So you could say centimeters. But did you know 50 centimeters is also 500 millimeters? Yeah, it's bonkers, isn't it? So you've got all these different ways of naming things and measuring things. And I want to talk to you about that. And we're going to look at how large things get and how small things get. But before we do that, I'm not just a science communicator, I am a science rapper. That's right, I write raps about science. And we're going to be doing some today as well. Now, in a second, you'll see the first rap of the day. And all you guys need to do is join in on the last word of each rap, okay? Of each line. And you'll see it's bright pink or it's bright blue, okay? I've changed the colour so you know which words to join in on. So, are you guys ready? No, I don't think you're ready. Oh, no, and you sitting down, come on now, you can get involved in too. All right, okay, so here we go. This is the first rap and it's all about, well, it's all about lengths and how to measure them. So remember, join in on the very last word of each line. If you want to know how big things are, learning to measure will take you far. There's different names for different lengths like inches, meters, miles, and then if something appears too small or big, we use other names with a better fit. And so 10 millimeters is a centimeter and 100 of those are known as a meter. So that was awesome work, guys. Some of you, I hope, was able to join in with that rap at home. Maybe with your sister, your mother, your auntie, your brother, your uncle, your granddad, your dog, your cat. It's all good. So now we're going to go into the size of things. And first, we're going to start with how large things get. So if you look above my head, you can see that is a ruler. It is a meter long. And you probably know this, but a meter is 100 centimeters long. And you can see the things at the top. There's lots of little centimeters going along and you've got 10, 20, 30, 40, right up to 100. 100 centimeters is 1 meter. Now, as it turns out, we can measure loads of things in meters. Pretty much anything, okay? Now, when we want to measure things bigger than a meter, generally, we still use meters, okay? But we change a certain part of the name we give it, and we'll talk about that in a second. So if you look at this meter ruler, we could do this. There you go. We've taken that meter, and now we've moved it to in front of this goalkeeper. And you can see next to that goalkeeper, that's how long a meter appears, all right? But if you want to look at something bigger, you can look at maybe how long 10 meters is. So you've seen how long a meter is. 10 meters is actually the length to that spot right there. That's the penalty spot, okay? That's about 10 meters away from him. And you can see 10 times longer than a meter, that's the type of scale that you're looking at, okay? And this guy's about to take a good shot. Go on, mate. Now, what about if we want to increase by 10 again? So that's how we're generally going to do it. We're going to increase the length by 10 and see how big that is compared to the other one. So there was a meter, 10 meters was to that spot. Now 100 meters is actually around the length of the whole football pitch. That's right. So that's 100 meters. It's also the distance that people run in a 100-meter sprint, okay? So that 100 meters is compared to the 10 meters from that goal to that spot, all right? So how about if we increase that more? What happens if we go beyond 100 meters? Well, some of you might be good at this. Okay, what's 100 times 10? Okay, if you don't know it, the answer is just add another 0 in the end. Anytime you times by 10, you add a 0, okay? So 1 times 10 is 10. 10 times 10 is now 100 meters. 100 meters times 10 is 1,000 meters. Right, what is 1,000 meters long? Well, I can tell you, but before I do that, I'm going to introduce you to our first other word. Our other word is kilo, K-I-L-O. And when you say something's a kilo, what you're saying is it's 1,000. So instead of saying we've got 1,000 meters, you could say we've got a kilometers. Kilometer, kilometer. Yeah, you see what it means there? It's also the same thing when you're talking about kilograms, right? A kilogram just means 1,000 grams, okay? So we can use kilo instead of 1,000, okay? And sometimes you see it on the road signs as km. So what is a kilometer? That mountain is a kilometer. It's Mount Snowdon, and that is 1,000 meters or 1 kilometer tall. Okay, so now, instead of using just meters, now we're just gonna talk about kilometers. Thousands of meters, okay? That's right. So instead of going to 10, we've now gone to 100 by an extra 10. So we've added on another 0, okay? 100 kilometers into the air is the edge of space. That's right. If you go 100 kilometers that way, you get to the edge of space. That's right. It's official. Check it out. 60 miles or 100 kilometers, right? Now, let's go a bit further. What is 1,000 kilometers? Now, it's hard to imagine things that are so far beyond us, okay? We hear all these numbers, but how can we visualize it? Well, here you go. If you want to visualize 1,000 kilometers, there it is. It's pretty much the distance from the south to the north of the UK. So the UK is around about 1,000 kilometers long, okay? Give or take. Now, I'm not going to be 100% accurate with these numbers, just to give you the roundabout figure so you can get an idea of how long that would be, okay? The UK is 1,000. Okay, we're going to times it by 10 again. So if you've got 1,000 and we're going to times it by 10, what's the answer? That's right, 10,000, okay? Now you got to remember that anytime you're talking about measuring anything, there's two things you need to know. One is the amount, that's the numbers. The other one is what type of measurement you're using, or we call it units in science. So we're using meters, or we're using kilometers as the units, or if you was measuring time, seconds would be the units. If you was measuring weight, it might be kilograms. So here we're using the unit of kilometers, and it's 1,000 from the bottom to the top. So let's go to 10,000. Wow, that's right. If you wanted 10,000, you're pretty much talking about the size of a planet. Now, our planet's actually 12,000 kilometers wide, but if you was to go around its waist, 10,000 kilometers. So if you was walking over the surface of the Earth and you went a quarter of the way around, that would be 10,000 kilometers. Pretty long, isn't it? But we're going to get bigger. Now, if instead of having 10,000, we're going to add another 0. Times it by 10 again. So instead of 10,000, now we have 100,000. Check this out. 100,000 kilometers is actually 1/4 of the distance from the Earth to the moon. Yeah, pretty cool, isn't it? Right? So if you wanted to fly to the moon, 1/4 of the way would be 100,000 kilometers, and it's also around about the same size as the planet Saturn. So you can fit just over 3 Saturns in between planet Earth and the moon. But here's something really interesting. We sent a probe into space and it went flying, and it turned around and took a picture of the planet Earth, and that's the picture it took. Look, there's the planet Earth, and over there you can see the moon. So this is a real picture of the Earth and the moon, with the moon going around it, okay? And it was taken by the Juno spacecraft in August 2011. And do you know how far it was away? 10 million kilometers. What? Crazy, isn't it? That's really far. But to get an idea of how far that is, well, let's look at some more pictures, okay? So we've seen the Earth to moon distance, and we know that about 1/4 of the way is 100,000 kilometers. Let's check this out. If you take 100 and times it by 10, you add a 0. So 100 times 10 is actually 1,000. So we want to look at 1,000 kilometers. Or another word for 1,000 is a million. Now, here's the thing. If you look at that sun, our sun is more than 1,000,000 kilometers wide. So 1,000,000 kilometers, you need to kind of be talking the size of a star, like our sun, all right? And a small star, there are small stars that are 1,000,000 kilometers long. So anytime you see the sun, now please don't look directly at it because it can hurt your eyes. Not this one because it's a picture, of course. But if you want 1,000,000 kilometers in the sky, that's how big and how massive it is, all right? Absolutely huge. So we're going to go beyond 1,000,000 kilometers, and we're not going to go to 10 million kilometers yet. We're going to go to another number. So here's the sun, and you can see that about from that side to about here, that would be about 1,000,000 kilometers long, okay? Now, if you want to get to the Earth, is actually 150 million kilometers away. Now, you must realize that in this picture, it's not to scale. The sizes of the planets are to scale, or if you want to see the distances, they are that much far apart. For example, the inner planets like Mercury, Earth, and Venus, they're all close together, and as you go further out, things are more spread out. So the distances are to scale, and then the sizes are to scale, but you haven't got both scales don't match up. So if you look at this picture and you can see the size of the sun, you can see that Jupiter, it can actually fit into the sun about 10 times next to each other, and Saturn could fit about 11 times next to each other. So you can see that the scale of the sun is a lot bigger than Saturn or Jupiter. And you could say the sun is about 10 or 11 Jupiters wide. That's right, you've just measured it in Jupiters instead of feet, inches, or miles, okay? Here is a picture of our solar system. Now, if you look at our solar system, you can see the sun is over there, right? And the distance from the sun to Earth, 150 million kilometers, it's got a 1 next to it. Now, all that 1 stands for is 1 times the distance from the sun to the Earth, okay? So if he goes, how many distances from the sun to the Earth can you fit between the sun and the Earth? You'd be like 1, isn't it? Because it's the distance from the sun to the Earth. Now, scientists have a really long name for it, but don't worry, it's not that hard. It's AU. What? Yeah, okay, all right. AU, it stands for astronomical unit, okay? And if you want to measure things this big, there's no point talking about meters and kilometers again, because everything gets so big. So they change it to distance from the sun to the Earth, an astronomical unit. And you can see that the Earth is 1 astronomical unit away. And if you look up here at planet Saturn, it's 10 astronomical units, which means it's 10 times the distance from the sun to the Earth. And if you look at this line across here, you can see that it goes up and it adds a 0 each time. And what this means is when you get to Saturn, you'd have to squash the distance from the sun to Earth like this. And you could fit 10 of those between the sun and Saturn. And then the distance from the sun to Saturn is 10. And if you squash that down again, you could fit 10 of those distances between the sun and this place. Okay, and that's the end of where the sun's energy is pushing out. Okay, you don't need to worry about it. It's called heliopause, but all you need to know is it's at about 100. Okay, 100 times the distance from the Earth to the sun. Okay, so that is 100 astronomical units, 100 times the distance from the Earth to the sun. Right, let's go out a bit further. Now that's the Oort cloud. Now the Oort cloud is an interesting place because it's one of the places loads of comets come from. And you can see it stretches out really far. It stretches from between 1,000 and 100,000 times the distance to between the sun and the Earth. It's really, really far. Look, here's the Oort cloud. Okay, so if you look at the Oort cloud, it's loads of rocks that they think are out in a big ball shape around the sun. Okay, now you can see the sun in the middle of that picture, and it's surrounded by a load of rings. That's all the planets of the solar system going around like this, right? And if you see the line next to it with the numbers, you've got over there, you've got a 0, then you've got a 1, that's for 1 AU, 1 times the distance of the Earth to the sun, remember? And then you've got a 10, and it's saying that's 10 times the distance. Then 10 with a 2 next to it means basically there's 2 zeros, so 100 times. 10 with a 3 next to it means there's 3 zeros, so it's 1,000. And as you can see, you've even got up to 10 with a 5 next to it, 100,000 times the distance. Okay, now that's the edge of the Oort cloud. It's extremely far. That is the edge of our solar system. And all those, that ball is loads of little tiny rocks and asteroids going on at a very distant, extreme distance from the sun. And the sun keeps them in a little bit. But sometimes a star goes past outside of our solar system and it can pull some of those comets out of their orbits and they can come flying in towards the center of the solar system, towards Earth, right? Now, if you go beyond that, beyond the Oort cloud, you get to our nearest star. It's called Alpha Centauri. And it's about 240,000 times further from the sun than the planet Earth is, right? And now when you get to those numbers, it starts getting ridiculous, okay? We want to talk about how big space is. So instead of saying, it's 240,000 astronomical units, they've got another way to describe it, a different unit, right? These are called light years. And what it is how far light can travel in a year, okay? So in a year, how far can light travel? It's 1 light year. Or in a minute, how far can light travel? It's 1 light minute. And it just so happens, it takes 4 light years for light to travel from the sun out to our nearest star called Alpha Centauri. Crazy, isn't it? And what about if we go further? Well, where we get to 1,000,000 AU, you can see right at the end of the line, 1,000,000 AU, that's a 1 followed by 6 zeros. That is another star, and that is about 16 light years away, okay? So 1,000,000 astronomical units, you could also say, is about 16 light years. And that isn't the end of everything, because check this out. If you look at our stars, all of these stars are the stars next to us. Right in the middle, you can see our sun. And this is called our sun's neighborhood, or our solar neighborhood, or our interstellar neighborhood. Interstellar just means between the stars, right? So the distance from our sun to all the different stars around us, you can see in this picture. Some are to the left, some are to the right, some are above, some are below. These are all our nearest stars. But let's shrink this again and look at it bigger. Wow. These are all of the stars in our galaxy, right? Now, there's like hundreds of billions of stars in our galaxy, but if you look at the red writing over there, where all those stars you saw are just a little tiny dot near that red writing, and there's lots more stars. And remember, I said the nearest star, it takes light 4 years to travel between. If you wanted to see how long it takes light to travel across our galaxy, it takes 100,000 years. Yep. So our galaxy is more than 100,000 light years across, okay? And that's how big our galaxy is, and many other. I mean, there's some bigger galaxies as well and some smaller galaxies. But it doesn't finish there, because our galaxy isn't the only galaxy. There are other galaxies out there. Check this out. These are just all the local galaxies in our neighborhood, right? So if you look in the middle where the red writing is, there's our local galaxies. Now, if you look over further over there where my finger's pointing, that blurry galaxy is called the Andromeda Galaxy. Now, it doesn't take 1,000 years for light to travel between us. And it doesn't take 100,000 years. It takes 2.5 million years for light to get from Andromeda Galaxy to us, right? That means it's 2.5 million light years away. That's right. And remember, 1,000,000 is 1,000 thousands, right? So the numbers just get so big, it's crazy, right? And they're still measuring it in light years. Okay, well, let's go on. Let's see if there's any more. So these are some galaxies really far apart, but there's more. Let's shrink those galaxies together, and you can see they're just like a tiny little area over here. And all these little galaxies form a bigger cluster called a Virgo supercluster. Huge, it's absolutely massive, right? Loads and loads and loads of light years. You're talking millions and millions and millions of light years apart. All of these, okay? And all these galaxies exist, okay? And then it gets more. Let's shrink all of these supercluster down and see what we get. Can you see that, right? As you can see, there's the Virgo supercluster. There's like, it's just so spread out, you can't even imagine how spread it gets, right? And there's so much space, it gets even bigger. Check this out. Let's shrink it again. And that, all of these dots you can see in this whole picture is the size of our whole entire universe. Things get so big, you can't even imagine it. And if you're wondering, how many light years is that, John? Here you go. You got 1,000. If you times that by 1,000, you get 1,000,000. If you times that by another 1,000, that's right, add another 3 noughts, you get 1,000,000,000, right? 1,000,000,000, which is 1,000 million. Our universe is 93 billion light years from one side to the other. So if you shone a torch from one side over here, it would take 93 billion years to get to the other side. And 93 is a big number. Our universe has only been around for almost 14 billion years. So that's just crazy, isn't it? Okay. And it's all expanding and getting bigger as well. So that is how large things get. You're feeling tired? Is your head feel like it's just exploded? Don't worry, mine has too. And every time I watch it, it happens. But don't worry, I've got something to help with that. I have a rap. And I love you guys to join in. So everything we just said about how large things get, I've summarized in this next rap. And remember, just like before, all I'd like you to do is join in with the words that are highlighted at the end of each line, okay? And we'll also do the chorus again at the end if you remember that, okay? So, you ready to go? Okay, so here's where we'll start. We're looking at a meter, but we're gonna get large. 10 meters is almost a penalty kick. 100 is the length of a football pitch. Switch, 1,000 is a whole kilometer. 100 kilometers will get you to space. 1,000's about the length of the UK. 10,000's a quarter around Earth's waist. The sun is wider than a million. True, its distance from Earth is called an AU. With that measurement, Saturn's at 10, while the Oort clouds where the solar system ends. To 100,000 further than Earth, but less than halfway to where the next star lurks. And that's a little more than 4 light years, but the Milky Way's huge and doesn't stop there. It's 100,000 light years wide, but there's more galaxies around to find. In a space 1 million times more spread, we see the whole universe end to end. If you want to know how big things are, learning to measure will take you far. There's different names for different lengths, like inches, meters, miles, and then if something appears too small or big, we use other names with a better fit. And so 10 millimeters is a centimeter, and 100 of those are known as a meter. So, I hope you guys are ready. Let's do it. So here is a meter again, but if we go 10 times smaller, okay, we can divide it up to 10 bits, right? And then if we take those 10 bits, 10 times smaller is one of those little bits, and that takes us to 10 centimeters. And in case you wondered, if any of you wondered, another word for like 10 centimeters is a decimeter, okay? So instead of having 1 meter, it would be a decimeter, meaning 1/10 of a meter, okay? And if you divide a meter by 100, you get a centimeter. You might have heard of the word cent, like a century, 100 years, right? Or 100 cents in America. A cent is like a penny, but over there, 100 cents make a pound. Right? So you've heard the word cent before. So centimeter is a meter divided by 100, all right? So we're still using meter, but you've got another word in front of it. Right, how big is 1 centimeter? Well, I'm pretty sure you guys are familiar, but in case you wondered, it's the size of a pea, all right? But we can break it up even more, because 1 centimeter can be broken up into millimeters, okay? There's 10 in a centimeter, and there's 100 centimeters. That means there's actually 1,000 millimeters between the 0 and 100 on a meter ruler. 1,000 of them, that's right. But we can look at this in another way. A millimeter, what's a millimeter? Well, there's some little bugs that are a millimeter, but if you've ever seen a needle that people use to get injections at the doctors, this bit that they inject into people, the needle part, if you stuck about 3 of those together, they'd be about the size of a millimeter, okay? So they're really tiny, really small. They're 3 times smaller than a millimeter, all right? They're absolutely titchy. You can just about see them. You can see it with your eye. You can just about see the tip. Now, if you want to see things closer than this, okay, millimeter size or smaller, you need a special instrument. That's right, you need a microscope. Now, a microscope, it's got a clever name, micro. Instead of millimeters, if you want to go 1,000 times smaller again, right? So instead of 1,000 times smaller than a meter, which is a millimeter, you can go 1,000 times smaller again. And what do you get? You get a micrometer. That's right. Now, 1,000 times 1,000 is actually a million. So a million times smaller than a meter is called a micrometer. That's right. So when you say micro, it's saying a million times smaller, okay? And that's what your microscope helps you to look at. So let's see what stuff we can look at through a microscope. What's that? It's like a knife, doesn't it? That is actually the tip of the needle I just showed you earlier. But what's all this red stuff? I'm sure some of you already know what it is. Yeah, it's blood, but not just that. These are little bits of blood called blood cells. Blood is made up of these things called red blood cells. Loads of them could fit across this tiny little needle head, and they are going through your blood. Let's have another look. There they go. There's some blood cells going through your veins. You've got different types of veins, right? Some veins are so small that only 1 blood cell could fit through at a time, all right? They're really tiny. Now, a blood cell isn't a millimeter, okay? It's 1,000 times smaller. We're talking micrometers. Now, another word for micrometer is micron, okay? So if you ever hear someone say, oh, that's 50 microns in a science fiction movie or something, they're saying it's 50 micrometers. These blood cells are between about say about 8 to 10 microns, right? Really small, right? Now, don't worry if you're not getting the numbers and the names. Most people don't, okay? Unless they're sitting down doing science, most people don't. All you need to know is that they're really titchy, okay? And remember how many of them were on that needle. So there's a red blood cell, but we can go and look at some other stuff. You may have heard of this stuff called bacteria. Yeah, there's one. Yeah, that is a bacteria. And you can see that the bacteria is actually smaller than the red blood cells going through your veins. That's right. This is only about 2 microns in size. That's right. So it's really, really small. But I want to introduce something else to you. While we're talking about scales, so just remember, these are all micrometer scale or microns. You can look at them through a microscope, which took this picture. Does anyone know what this is? Yep, it's not an old friend. We don't like this guy. No, we absolutely hate it. That is the coronavirus. That's right. Now, take a little guess if you and your family. How small do you think the coronavirus is? If you was to put it on this picture, where do you think it would fit? What, that big, that big? What, how big do you think the coronavirus would be on this picture? Bigger than the bacteria? Here it is. Check this out. This is how small coronavirus is. Tiny. It's actually 0.1 microns, or 10 times smaller than a micron, 10 times smaller than a micrometer, okay? Which means it's 60 million times smaller than a millimeter. So like I said, the numbers are just crazy, right? So if any of you like numbers, those are the numbers. But generally, just look at it, look how tiny it is. So that is the thing, loads of those guys that are making us ill right now, or hopefully not making us ill, okay? So you just looked at the size of a coronavirus, right? Now, if you look at this picture, we're going to go smaller than a micron. Now we're moving into the nanometer range, okay? A nano is 1,000 times smaller than a micrometer. It's absolutely tiny, okay? You may have heard the word nano as in nanobots and nanotechnology. That's basically telling you it's the technology of stuff that's extremely small, all right? And nano actually means 1 billion times smaller than a meter, okay? So let's have a look at this. This is a cell of the body, okay? Your whole body's made of different parts, right? We call them organs, like your heart organ, your lungs organs, you got your skin, and these are all made up of cells. Inside the cell, you've got something smaller called the nucleus, or basically the central part, right? And if you look inside the nucleus, you can find these other bits. They are called chromosomes as you follow the arrow across. Now these chromosomes hold all the information about who you are, what makes you who you are, physically that is, okay? Now if you were, there's about 46 of these in each one of our body cells, but if you was to take this chromosome and unravel it, you would find this stuff and it's called DNA. Now our DNA is really small, okay? In nanometers, all right, that's 1 billion times smaller than a meter, is actually 1 nanometer is half the width of a DNA strand, okay? So if you look at that DNA on the side, and there's a red yellow line, about the length of that red line is about the size of a nanometer, okay? And it's really, really small, all right? Now, things obviously do not stop there at nanometers, right? Now, obviously you might know that everything is made up of atoms. So how big are atoms? Well, as an idea, you could fit about 50 atoms next to each other, okay, to make up 1 nanometer, okay? Which means that if you took this strand of DNA, you could fit about 100 atoms from one side to the other, okay? That's how small your DNA is. It's 100 atoms across, all right? Now, nanometers are extremely small, okay? Now, this next slide, I'm going to show you, but don't worry, okay? I don't want to confuse you, but this is going to show you how small things can get. Above my head here, that's an atom, okay? And in the middle, you've got this stuff. These are called protons and electrons, okay? The red and blue thing in the middle. Then this purple thing is like a cloud of where they think the electron could be. They're not entirely sure. It could be here, here, here. At any point, who knows? They just know it's kind of there, and it's somewhere around there, right? Then there's other electrons that are a bit further out, okay? That's in the blue area over here, right? Now, they sometimes draw it like this picture as well, and you can see the middle part, also called the nucleus, just like we had in the cell, and then you've got the bit around the outside. That is an atom, and these are extremely small, okay? All you need to know is inside an atom, there's a nucleus, And if you look to the nucleus close up of the red and black balls, those are things called protons and neutrons, and they're even smaller. Now, like, as you can see how small it is, you can see that these bits in the middle, you can also get into them. So if you take one of those red bits, a proton, and look inside it, you can see that it's got these, well, over there, you can see the red, blue, and green things. Those are called quarks, okay? Now those quarks are even smaller, okay? They're like, you're talking about 10, maybe 100,000 times smaller than an actual proton is inside. But no one knows exactly how small they are. They just know that they're really tiny because they've got no way of actually measuring it, right? But when you look at the whole universe and how big it is, imagine how small things can get. And there is an actual a number, a length that they think is the smallest length ever. It's called a Planck length. And I don't mean like Planck, like, what a Planck. I mean like just named after a guy named Planck, right? And this length is the smallest length you can get. And to give you an idea of how big and small things can get, okay, so we start at the meter. The amount of times you can get bigger to get to the size of the universe above a meter, you can get that amount smaller, okay? And when you get that amount smaller, you get to a Planck length. And if you get that amount bigger, you get to the size of the universe. And in fact, I think if you took a full stop and you compared that to the size of the universe, okay, then took the Planck length and made it the size of a full stop, the full stop would have to be the size of the universe. I know, it's just like, it's too much, it's too much. Things are so big and so small, most of it is just too crazy for us. It's even hard to describe because nothing like this is normal in our whole world of reality, okay? So after all that, I think you might need to sit down, have a big cool glass of water, maybe a cup of cocoa, maybe put your feet up, or maybe you can have a wrap. So to summarize everything we've just spoken about, all of this craziness, all these crazy sizes of how big and small it is, let's wrap this up with a rap. You ready? Remember, just join in on the last words of each line, okay? Let's go. So we're back to a meter, let's zoom again. We're gonna get smaller each time by 10. 10 centimeters is the first we meet, then 1 centimeter is the size of a pea, and smaller again is a millimeter. That's 1,000 times smaller than a meter. That means it's 1,000th, and if you're fine, now we're gonna zoom in 1,000 each time. So next is a millionth for micrometer. That's also a micron, but you could use either. 5 times smaller than a red blood cell is the size of bacteria as well. Let's zoom by a billion to nano, okay? It's half of the width of your DNA. Then a trillion smaller is pico size. That's 100 smaller than an atom is wide. If you want to know how big things are, learning to measure will take you far. There's different names for different lengths like inches, meters, miles, and then if something appears too small or big, we use other names with a better fit. And so 10 millimeters is a centimeter, and 100 of those are known as a meter. So that was the awesome scale of everything. Everything in our universe that we know about. From the most biggest you can imagine to the most smallest we probably could imagine, okay? But that is everything. Now, there were some confusing things in there, maybe some things that make sense, maybe some things that have blown your mind. But I think I hope that you've got a better idea about when people are using all these different names for sizes and things, kind of what they might be talking about. What is a micrometer? What is a millimeter? Why do they call it a kilometer? The world and the universe is huge, and I hope you have just a tiny bit of more insight into all of that crazy humongousness that's out there. So I've been John Chase. This has been the size and scale of things, and I hope you guys have an awesome time, whatever you do now. Bye! Let's go and explore the universe.
and explore the universe we shall. Thank you so much, John, for a fantastic demonstration. All sorts of crazy, amazing things explored there. Real fun. Guys, did you enjoy that?
I am obsessed.
Yeah, it was amazing. Thank you, John.
He's a cool guy, and he did some really interesting concepts all the way through there, all relating to scale, which is what you've all been exploring from home. We have been absolutely delighted to have received so many submissions for this task. Zuza, maybe you can explain what the task was and what they needed to do.
Surely. So we asked you guys in 20 minutes to find smaller household items that you could make a portrait of a friend or family from, and we're very excited to see what you've come up with.
As we are as well. We've had all sorts of fun going through this. So we're going to start off with Wren's photo. Wren has taken a portrait of her mum. So there's a picture of her mum. Brilliant portrait as it is. Let's see what we have made up of scale, shall we? Brilliant, searching through as we go. There we are. There's the photo. There's all sorts of stuff going on in there. Chris, can you talk us through what you see there?
Yeah, I love the way you've used the, are they hairbands? To get the curly hair effect and all different sized objects. But yeah, very good effort.
It looks great, doesn't it? We've got plenty to get through, so let's keep on going. So our next one, we're heading over to Clara, I believe. Let's have a look for Clara's now. Clara has done a self-portrait of herself. Let's have a look there. There's the photo. Brilliant. And there's all sorts of stuff. I think there's some pasta going on there. And she even managed to get the hairband as well, I think with a clip from a shower curtain or something. Looks brilliant. Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for that. And we move on now to Joshua and Emily, who have worked together. They've done two together and they've done a self-portrait and they've made theirs a bit bigger. Look at that, using stickle bricks and Lego. I was a huge Lego fan myself. I still am. I never really played with stickle bricks all that much. Zuza, do you want to say anything about that one?
I am so impressed. This is amazing. I can see the wrap in the background. This is amazing. Well done. Well done.
Brilliant stuff. And we'll keep on going through. So Honna's taken a portrait of her dad. So I believe you got a photo of her dad once we get there, which we could get to. So there's her dad. And let's have a look at the portrait that Honna's made. Brilliant. Let's have a look-see. Here we are. And we've got all sorts of details here and we're nicely kind of put in there. So we've got some blue eyes and some red lips and we've got beard in there as well. It looks like it's little bits of paper all the way through there. Now, I just want to learn a little bit more about what they're discovering by doing this project. Annabelle, can you talk a little bit about the concept that they're trying to understand by creating these portraits?
So yeah, definitely. So we just want to basically get across the idea that big things all across the world, all across the universe, are all made up of smaller things, which we mentioned before are called atoms. So for instance, you are made up of atoms, which are really small things. So we're making you look at small objects around your house to make up a bigger picture of yourself, just like the atoms.
Brilliant. And we've got a few more to explore here as well. We've got a fantastic full body self-portrait that we're going to have a look at here. Let's go through now. And look at that. Great work there by Quinn, who's been creating that outside, and he's even got the gloves and the feet going on there as well. Megan, looks a really fantastic portrait, doesn't it? Really gone above and beyond. Thank you so much for that, Quinn, and we love your smiley face alongside that as well. Now let's go to, so we're now looking at Leela. So Leela's done two portraits here. She's done a portrait of her mum. So here is mum in real life. And there's Mum in portrait life. Not if you can tell the difference. Look at that, there's starburst and pasta involved and all sorts of bits. Looks brilliant. And now let's go on to Daddy. So there is Dad up against a white background, ready to be portraited. And here's the finished portrait. And we've got some more pasta going on there, some more starburst. Sounds like an interesting breakfast you guys are having. And it's a really nice little portrait that you've done there. Chris, can you talk a little bit about those ones?
Yeah, on the Dad one especially, I love the way you've broken up the pasta to create an even smaller thing to do the beard stubble effect. And yeah, using starburst has now got me craving some sweets, so thank you for that.
So that's a really cool thing. So what they've done there is they've taken a bigger thing and they've broke it down into their smaller parts, which is kind of the real focus of what you're looking at here. So it's really nice to explore that in some detail. Thank you so much, Leela. We now move on to Libby. Libby has taken a self-portrait of her mum, I believe. So let's have a look here. There's Libby's mum, just there. And shall we have a look at the portrait that she's created? Once we get there. Brilliant. And there's Libby's mum, made out of pasta and pipe cleaners. And she's managed, oh, I think we've just lost it there. I think we've got I've been told we've got an updated one. Just to let you behind the curtain here, we've got a full team of brilliant technicians working away at the moment. So we have one on one of our screens and one doing it here. There we go. We've got the pasta and pipe cleaners. I believe that she sent through a photo as well showing a nose as well. So she's been working really hard at this. So thank you so much for that. And the different colours look fantastic. And I think that is all of our fantastic portraits that we've received. And thank you so much to everyone who sent it in. Zuza, I don't know what you want to say about all their portraits. A brilliant artistic flair and great exploration of science there.
Yes, oh my god, I'm very, very impressed. Well done to everyone. It's a brilliant mix of science and art, and I really hope that you understood the concept we were trying to get through by this little experiment, and I hope you had fun with your families.
Brilliant. And Annabelle, I mean, we've been talking about the importance of studying science outside of the classroom, and especially right now, you know, with everyone at home, there's so many different things that they can explore. And you've obviously all been a part of our project competition and seen our fantastic young participants and the engagement through there. Can you tell us what it feels like to engage with, you know, young kids exploring science at home in such detail, their enthusiasm, their excitement for their topics?
Oh, it's been amazing, and I think it's really surprised me as well just how much engagement there has been. So yesterday we were judging all the project competitions, and just seeing some of them and the level of engagement they were above and beyond what I was expecting, really. So yeah, really, really well done to all those pictures that were just sent in, and also all the projects that we've seen coming through. They were really cool.
And they're absolutely fantastic. Thank you all. We really appreciate you. We are a little bit ahead of schedule, but it's great to have you all here for the Wiltshire Music Centre's My Science Fair. Now, we at Wiltshire Music Centre have been busy keeping our creative learning and artistic programmes going as best as we can throughout the lockdown period. And obviously, we've moved to more online delivery. We've tried to do some in-the-room work as well, and we are hoping to open up our doors when we are safely able to again for a world of musical opportunities, as well as hopefully My Science Fair again starting next year. Now, all the way through 2020, we had a variety of activities taking place, and we created a short review showcasing all of the projects that we have been doing, and we'd like to share that with you now to show you what we're up to. Here is our 2020 review.
It feels like something good is gonna happen. Sun is rising in my heart. The sound of cars and trucks go by beneath unparalleled skies, and the beauty of your eyes. parting clouds and the hope they bring. The drawbridge drops and I'm welcomed in to shine within, to shine within, to shine, shining in my heart. Out with Percy in the golden sun, 6 footsteps walking in the sand, walking in the sand. I watch your lips that were cut so cruelly change into a smile after a while. The sun is shining and it feels so sweet. We got the gold beneath our feet. The glow inside brings you near to me, and your heartbeat shines within, shines within, shines within, shining in my heart. It's nearly bedtime and I've got to go back in the morning to say hello. Sailing on a stormy sea doesn't come so easily, but I know, I know. Feels like something good is gonna happen. Feels like something good is gonna happen. Yeah, it feels like something good is gonna happen.
As we say, we've been trying to keep going and keep Wiltshire Music Centre going. We cannot wait to have you back in the centre. In the meantime, I hope you're enjoying My Science Fair Goes Virtual this morning. Thank you guys, it's been so good to see you. Take care and bring in the next group of scientists. We can't wait to see them too.
Thank you, everyone. Goodbye.
Thank you for
Brilliant.
having us. Hope you have fun. Bye.
We shall do. And now they are logging off into the Wormhole communication portal, a patented piece of technology here at Wiltshire Music Centre. This is My Science Fair Goes Virtual. We are brought to you live from the Wiltshire Music Centre Virtual Lab. We've obviously made a few updates around here. This used to be our auditorium. Not really. It's a virtual green screen designed by our brilliant technical manager Dan Thomason, who has been at the heart of our digital communication throughout this period. So many thanks to him. Now, this day you have already engaged in loads of exciting experiments from home, as well as projects and also our demonstrations in our auditorium as well. And it is great to have yet more of our scientists join us. They will be logging in the background as I speak. But our next section that we're going to move to is stars. Stars are all around us. Stars are in the night sky. I've been reading lots of news articles recently about the world of stars, and you can see more of them in the night sky at the moment than you could have done in the past. Take a look up at night time and you will see more about it. Now, we have had kids explore the stars in our project competition. That is our free project competition taking place over 6 weeks for kids aged 5 to 11 years old, and they have been submitting projects on a range of different topics around stars, and you saw some of them in our video earlier on this session. And you will also see some of them in our prize giving, which is coming up after our Rock the Tots spectacular finale to close out our show. Now, this event has been made possible by the Institute of Physics. The Institute of Physics are funding this event, which allows us to bring this to you for free. You can also support our work by going to wiltshiremusic.org.uk. On wiltshiremusic.org.uk, there are links to donate towards our creative learning programme and to our centre running more generally. The support of our patrons has been absolutely invaluable in reopening the centre and continuing to deliver these online activities for you at home. So we thank you so much for that, and any donations you can make towards our work would be greatly appreciated. Now, I believe I am joined by four fantastic, our final scientists from the University of Bath. Guys, can you give us a wave? It's lovely to see you this morning. Hello, and we're turning into afternoon at this point. It's been a long old morning, but it's been lots of fun. Guys, it would be great if you could introduce yourself, starting top left, top right, then bottom left, bottom right. Starting off with Adonis.
Hi guys, my name is Adonis and I'm a third-year physicist at the University of Bath.
Hello, I'm Samir. I'm a final year student at the University of Bath.
Hi, my name's Iwan. I'm from Cardiff and I'm a final year physics student at the University of Bath.
Hi, my name's Brendan and I'm a final year student at the University of Bath.
Seems to be a bit of a theme there. I mean, so all of our students, they are all joining us. They are final year students at the University of Bath, taking part in the Communicating Physics module led by the university. And so this is a fantastic opportunity to connect with young scientists. And we're going to do that this morning with a task, aren't we? Would you mind explaining what task you're going to be taking part in?
Yes. I'd like to start with a little story to go into the task.
Please.
And we'll explain it. This is a story about an astronaut that wanted to see the stars. As a child, the night sky was like a treasure trove of shining bright gems, twinkling in the darkness. The astronaut wanted to go up high into outer space and see the beautiful sights for themselves. So the astronaut had a brilliant idea. I'll build a rocket ship and explore the whole universe myself. I'll see everything from nebulas to stars and maybe even supernovas. Maybe I'll even find some alien life. Who knows what mysteries there are to find outside our little slice of the universe. Today, you guys will be that astronaut, and you'll be building your very own rocket ship to explore the night sky for yourselves.
It doesn't have to be a working rocket ship. You can choose to either make a model out of things you find around the house, or instead you can draw your rocket on a piece of paper and annotate it. Make sure to have a think and then tell us about the things the rocket will need on the mission, such as a cockpit for the astronauts, some thrusters so it can blast off, a nose cone, some fins, and whatever else you can think of. When you're finished, take a picture or a 20-second video of your model or design and submit it via WhatsApp or email. The WhatsApp number is 01225 860 110. Or instead you can email creativelearning@wiltshiremusic.org.uk. Good luck to you all and make sure you have fun. We can't wait to see what you come up with.
Brilliant, guys, and what a project for them to explore. So they're looking to create a rocket of some description, to draw it and to annotate it. You can even make it out of materials you find around the place. We've already seen some projects done with stickle bricks and Lego and pasta and starbursts and everything else. So you hopefully have lots of things to use at home. Now, Ewan, can you talk a little bit more about the different things that you might need? So you mentioned thrusters, you mentioned a cockpit. What else might they want on their rocket ships?
Yeah, indeed. So another thing you might want to consider is having a heat shield on your rocket. You'll be flying very close to some very hot stars. Some big explosions will be happening all around you, so you want to make sure that your rocket has some good protection from those explosions.
That feels like a very important thing. If you're going to be exploring the night sky, you need to be protected and you need to be safe. Hey folks, this sounds like a really fun project, and we want to see everything that you've been up to as it's been all morning. So please WhatsApp us on 01225 860 110. You can find that video in the description of the YouTube video, and if you are joining us now, you can also use this WhatsApp QR code. If you use the WhatsApp app, you should have an option to scan this QR code and open a conversation with us where you can send us the photos and videos of everything that you're up to. You can also email us at creativelearning@wiltshiremusic.org.uk. Now you will have 20 minutes to do your project as you have your previous ones, and as with the previous ones there will be a musical backing to enjoy alongside this one with the brilliant Rock the Tots, the double act who have taken Wiltshire Music Center by storm and presented a brand new space themed presentation which you're going to enjoy alongside this task. Now the task will be set with 20 minutes. You will see the timer on your screen, and once we get to the end you will also hear this noise to let you know that the timer is completed. So listen out for that. Brilliant. Are you ready to go? I said, are you ready to go? I've always wanted to do that. Brilliant. Students, are you ready to go?
Yes.
Let's blast off then. Your timer will start now. And we're off. Good luck, folks. In the meantime, sending you through to the auditorium. Steph, Craig, can you hear me?
Hey friends, hello.
Thank you very much for that, Adam. Hey, we are delighted to be here. Lovely to see you all. I'm Steph.
I am Cragglepus.
And together we are Rock the Tots. We are so delighted to be part of My Science Fair today. Thank you very, very much for having us.
Yes.
We hope you're having a fun day. There's loads of really, really exciting things happening. And right now we're going to do a gig for you.
It's exciting, it's really exciting. So keeping in line with the My Science Fair, today's theme is stars. So every song's about stars, songs that you'll know, some of them, all of them, you'll want to sing along to. Shall we get started?
I think we should.
I think let's do it. Where would we be in a set about stars without The Greatest Showman and Rewrite the Stars? We've had some requests from this from you guys, so this is for you. Enjoy, sing along, go for it. Oh yeah. You know I want you. It's not a secret I've tried to hide. I know you want me, so don't keep saying your hands are tied. You claim it's not in the cards. Fate is pulling you miles away and out of reach from me. But you're here in my heart, so what's to stop me if I decide you're my destiny? Why don't we rewrite the stars? Say you were made to be mine. Nothing can keep us apart. You are the one I was meant to find. It's up to you, and it's up to me. No one can say what we get to be. Why don't we rewrite the stars? Maybe the world could be ours tonight. What have you got, Stephanie? You know what it is? It's the sky, 'cause it's the sky full of stars. I wanna give you my heart. 'Cause in a sky, and in a sky full of stars, I wanna give you my heart.
And I don't care, and I don't care who you are, and I don't care what you do. 'Cause in the sky, 'cause in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. I think I saw you. Everybody's starry-eyed, and everybody knows. Everybody's starry-eyed, and nobody knows. Everybody's starry-eyed, and everybody knows. Everybody's starry-eyed.
'Cause in the sky, in your sky full of stars, I wanna give you my heart. 'Cause in the sky, and in the sky full of stars, I think I saw you. I think I saw you. So why don't we rewrite the stars? Say you were made to be mine. Nothing can keep us apart. You are the one I was meant to find. 'Cause it's up to me, and it's up to you. No one can see what we get to do. So why don't we rewrite the stars? Say you the world could be ours tonight.
Everybody's starry-eyed, and everybody knows. Everybody's starry-eyed, and nobody knows.
Wow, love it. Look at it. There's stars everywhere. That was nice. So if we're out in the stars, we're in the cosmos, we might meet some aliens, we might meet some special monsters, we'll definitely meet a cosmic boy, and probably a cosmic girl. Check this out. So, our next song is Jamiroquai. Ladies, gentlemen, parents, you're going to enjoy this. Sing along. Are you ready? Hey! I'm going to sing along at home. Woo! I must have died and gone to heaven, 'cause it was 11:15 on a Saturday in 1999. Right across from where I'm standing, on the dance floor she was landing. It was clear that she was from another time. Like some baby Barbarella with the stars as her umbrella. She asked me,
would you like to magnetize?
Do I have to go start trekking? 'Cause it's you I should be checking. So she laser beamed me with her cosmic eyes. Wow! She's just a cosmic girl from another galaxy. My heart's at zero gravity. She's from a cosmic world. Woo, wah, 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 putting me in ecstasy. With a name similar to Stephanie. Woo, wah, 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 she's cosmic. Yeah, sends me in a hyperspace
When I see her pretty face, sends me in a hyperspace. When I see her pretty face, sends me in a hyperspace. When I see her pretty face, sends me in a hyperspace. When I see her pretty face, yes. She's just a cosmic girl from another galaxy.
My heart's at zero gravity. She's from a cosmic world. Whoa, wow, wow. With a name that's definitely something similar to Stephanie. Whoa, wow, wow. She's cosmic. Yeah, you are.
Yeah. All right. That was groovy. What a groove.
Yeah, I love that tune.
It's a great
Really
tune,
do.
isn't it? Okay, so for our next song, Stephanie has rewritten the wonderful Stars by Simply Red.
It's by Simply Red. Should we come a bit closer?
Let's come a bit closer. Let's get.
So this is a bit of an intimate one, and the reason I decided to rewrite this a little bit, I've been thinking a lot about my little people. I'd imagine that quite a lot of you were there with your little people today, and you know, they're all right, really, aren't they? So this is for all of those grown-ups who look after little people.
Anyone who ever held a child would tell you the way that I'm feeling. Anyone who ever wanted this would try to tell you what I feel inside. The only thing I ever wanted was to have you here in my life. The only thing I ever think about. Wait a minute, can't you see that I would fall from the stars to hold you in my arms? I feel our love, I hope you comprehend. Anyone who tries to hurt you better know that it's me they're confronting. For all the sleepless nights you gave me, I'd do it all again without any question. As for all your falls and tumbles, they send my future into clearer dimension. I'll spend my life trying to protect you. Baby, can't you see that I would fall from the stars to hold you in my arms? I feel our love, I hope you comprehend. I would fall from the stars to hold you in my arms. I feel our love, I know you comprehend.
That was lovely. That's really lovely. I promised myself I wouldn't cry.
Oh dear. I didn't mean to do that. Goodness,
Well,
goodness.
that's lovely.
Well, I
I
tell you
like
what.
that song.
Shall we just move it up a little bit and we'll do something a bit more upbeat?
Let's do it. If we're going to go out into space,
yes,
we're going to need to get there, and that means I need a song. That means I have to wear these glasses. Why do you think I'll be wearing these glasses?
I don't know, Craig.
Well, we're going to go out into space. How are we going to get there? Go.
Seagull.
No.
Albatross.
No, another bird thing.
Motorbike.
No. They don't go that high, no. I'll tell you, it's a rocket!
Rocket!
And that means I'm Elton John, and this is Rocket Man.
Yes.
Packed my bag last night, pre-flight.
0 hour 9 a.m. And I'm gonna be high as a kite by then. I miss the earth so much, I miss my wife. It gets so lonely out in space on such a timeless flight like this. And I guess it's gonna be a long, long time. Touchdown brings me round again to find I'm not the man you think I am at home. No, 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 no. I'm a rocket man. Rocket man, burning out his shoes up here below. I think it's gonna be a long, long time. I think it's gonna be a long, long time. Rocket man. I quite like these glasses. I kind of want to wear them for the rest of the time as well. Oh, maybe I can, maybe I can't. Who knows? Right, let's keep going.
So we're in space now, are we?
We are out in space, and with our cosmic girl, we might meet some other incredible people. Or maybe some aliens, maybe some monsters, who knows? But if we were out there exploring space, we would technically be Star Trekking.
Star Trekking.
This is the brilliantly awful song, Star Trekking. This is so bad, but we'll definitely regret this. But don't worry, it goes on for a really long time. So, sorry, not sorry. Stephanie!
Let's go!
Are you ready?
Yes.
You're going to enjoy this, even if it means you want to hit somebody.
Star trekking across the universe on the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk. Star trekking across the universe, always going forward because we can find reverse.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, Jim.
Star trekking across the universe on the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk. Star trekking across the universe, always going forward because we can find reverse.
There's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not as we know it. There's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, Jim.
Ooh. You can't change the laws of physics, laws of physics, laws of physics. You can't change the laws of physics, laws of physics, Captain. There's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, not as we know it. There's life, Jim, but not as we know it, not as we know it, Captain.
There's Klingons on the starboard bow, starboard bow, starboard bow. There's Klingons on the starboard bow, Jim.
Star trekking across the universe on the Starship Enterprise under Captain Kirk. Star trekking across the universe, always going forward because we can find reverse. Always going forward because we can find reverse.
He's gone. He's gone. He's gone.
Incredible. Well, what can I say? If we are out Star Trekking, maybe we'll meet these magical aliens and monsters that we were talking about. And that would mean if they came back to Earth, we could make a film about it. Now, this is a film taken from the soundtrack of possibly the greatest film in all time.
Agent C, you're going to need those.
I'm going to need Agent C. I'm not talking about Gone with the Wind. I'm not talking about Titanic. I'm talking about the Will Smith classic, Men in Black. So check this out. We're going to get a little bit funky right now. Agent S over there, I get to do this. With the MIBs. MIBs. Sing along at home. The good guys dressed in black, remember that. Get your teeth me every face to face and make contact. The title held by me, MIB. It's what you think you saw, you did not see. So don't blink, be what was there is now gone. Black suits with the black Ray-Bans on. Walking shadow, moving silence. Guard against extraterrestrial violence. But yo, we ain't on no government list. We straight don't exist, no names and no fingerprints. Saw something strange, watch your back, cause you never quite know when the MIBs is at.
Here come the men in black, Galaxy Defenders.
MIBs.
Here come the men in black, won't let you remember.
From the deepest of the darkest night on the horizon, bright light into sight tie. Camera zoom on the impending doom, and then like boom, black suits fill the room up with the quickest talk with the witnesses. Hypnotize up, normalize up, vivid memories, turn to fantasies. And when the MIBs, can I please be what you wait? That's the way we kick it. Yeah, me, the super naughty cricket did wicked on you. We're the first, last, and only line of defense against the worst scum of the universe. So don't fear us, cheer us if you ever get near us. Don't jeer us. We're fearless, and my bees freezing up all black. Men in black. Men in black. We're the MIBs, we're the MIBs. I wanna hear you at home singing to me. You know the words.
Men in black.
There's also some dance moves. Check it out. Let me see you just bounce with me, just bounce with me, just bounce with me. Come on and let me see you just slide with me, just slide with me, just slide with me. Come on and let me see you take a walk with me, just walk with me, just walk with me. Come on and make your neck work. Now freeze.
Here come the men in black,
men in black,
Galaxy Defenders.
Whoa, whoa.
Here come the men in black, won't let you remember.
Yes.
Woohoo!
Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Oh, coming in for a kiss.
Good singing.
Yeah, okay, come on guys,
singing.
come on guys.
Oh, you ran away. Okay, so that's an incredible song, isn't it? Now, if we're going to go out to outer space and maybe see some aliens, who knows? That does mean we would be in outer space. So we had 2 requests from today. One was The Greatest Showman, and one was this. It's The Prodigy and Outer Space. So check this out. This is hilarious. I love those scarves.
Oh,
They're really
thanks,
good.
thanks.
I like it.
Shall I get a kazoo as well?
Get your kazoo.
I'm here.
Okay, you ready? Great intro. I'm gonna send into outer space to find another race. I'm gonna send into outer space to find another race. I'm gonna send into outer space to find another race. I'm gonna send into outer space to find another race. Baby rave, I take your brain to another dimension. Take your brain to another dimension. Take your brain to another dimension. Pay close attention. I take your baby to another dimension. I take your brain to another dimension. Take your brain to another dimension. Pay close attention. Take your baby to another dimension. Technically, it's not kidnapping. It's not kidnapping because I'll bring the sex. Woo! Take your brain to another dimension. Take your baby to another dimension. Take your baby to another dimension. Whoop 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 whoop. Huh, whoop whoop. Huh, whoop whoop. Whoop, whoop. Take your brain to another dimension. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Baby bump is baby Ray. Baby bump. I say, wow. Yes,
Yes, sir. I hope at least 5 of you went to get your glow sticks from back in the day.
Yes, you probably still got them. I mean, who wouldn't?
I think so.
So, we have another film reference right now, and we have our first of our very special guests.
Yes, we do.
Shall we give him his intro? We have to, really, don't we?
He won't come unless we do, so I think we better.
Okay. So, are we ready? Right. This is another star-based film that you'll know. This guest is very exciting. You ready?
Yep. From the green room.
Go and get him.
Yeah, I
You
will.
do that and I'll do a jazz version of the same thing. So, of course, it is our great pleasure. Please welcome to the stage right now, under his new alias, Mr. Darth Vader! Oh, hey, yes! Hey, man! Good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. How have you been?
Hello, Craig.
Hello.
I am your father.
You're not my father. We have discussed this before, but that's okay. You look great. I love the outfit. Give us a twirl.
There you go.
So look at your.
It's my best dance move.
It is glorious. So good. So good. So, shall we have a little interview? Right. I'm going to put you. Just move over here.
Watch
Here.
the cloak. Watch the cloak.
Yes, I don't want to touch the cloak. So, I'm going to turn this down. So, David, lovely to see you. Thank you for coming on the show. Obviously, we wanted to find a little bit more about you because, you're kind of not liked very much in the galaxy, and we want to make that different. So, we're going to use your Instagram as a point of reference. So, if we can just look at this first photograph, please tell us what's going on there. What do you think?
Oh, yes. Well, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me. I feel very misunderstood, and I'm glad I'm here to clear my name.
Okay, that's okay. So we can see that you're in the kitchen there?
In the kitchen there, yes. And, yes, I'm there with my friend. We're doing our washing up.
Yes, like a good boy. A good boy.
I am a good boy.
What's your friend called?
Nigel.
Nigel, okay, and he's the stormtrooper.
He's a stormtrooper.
Good. Okay, why are you doing the washing up there?
Well, because we ate some noodles, but it made a big mess.
Okay.
And that was because Nigel was using his spoon.
Right.
And I said, Nigel, use the forks.
Okay. Good thinking, and that's why you had to do the washing up like a good boy. I think that's wonderful. So, let's move very swiftly on, shall we? To tell me more. So let's have a look at this next painting, which I think is particularly interesting.
Yes, I do like this next picture. This is a painting. I asked my friend to do a painting of me, and I really like it because I like that it's showing my whimsical side,
Yes.
and also that it's done in the Impressionist style.
I like that as well. That is very good. I think what we're all thinking is, come back, Dave. What we're all thinking is, I like the fact that you have an umbrella in space. So good.
Meteor showers.
Yeah. Meteor showers. Good. Very good gag. That's actually really funny. You've never said that before. It's really funny. Okay. Don't go. Come back. So. This is the last one, and I found this one. This is a picture of you that I found online. If you're in the Death Star, and I'm sure everyone at home is going to agree, if you're on the Death Star and you wanted to go up 10 floors,
Yes.
how would you do that?
Fly?
No, you'd use an elevator. An elevator.
I don't understand.
An elevator. Elevator.
I don't get it.
Elevator. 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 Elevator.
It's time for me to go, Craig.
It's time for us all to go. Oh, I think I might run away. Anyway, can I say thank you so much for joining us?
Let's have a hug. Come on, I'm coming in for a hug.
Okay, let's do it. All right, I'm coming. I'll hug. I'll give you a hug.
Oh, hang on. Watch my lightsaber.
Okay, don't stab me, please.
Here we go.
Okay, then come on.
Hang on, one more. Third time's a charm. Yes, yeah.
Okay. Oh, hey, man. It's lovely to see you. Thank you so much for coming and joining us. Cool. Yes. Do another little spin. Just wave everyone. Thank you very much. Now, so I'll see you on Tuesday at tennis. Okay.
Yes.
We're still cool with that? You're going to pick me up at 6.
That would be good. Yes.
That'd be good. Thank you. Just remember, bring a tennis racket this time. Stop bringing that lightsaber because you keep cutting all the balls in half, and it's really embarrassing. Okay. Right. Anyway, thank you. So you're over here. If you can just exit over here.
Over this way. Yes.
And all the staff. No, not that way. No, not that way, David. No, don't go that way. No, David. No. No.
Ow.
Well.
Hello.
That was good. Oh, hey!
Just went and had a nice cup of tea.
Lovely. So, good.
Where's Dave?
Dave Vader was here. He went over that way. He went and just disappeared because he had to go and do something else.
Boys and girls, is he telling the truth?
Yes, absolutely.
1, 2, 3. We'll talk about this later.
Right.
I believe them.
2 things.
Yes.
Number 1, we have an opening on Tuesday. Are you free to play tennis? Because we've lost one of our tennis teams.
I'd love to.
Good, that's really good. Number 2, it's time to introduce our next special guest.
Yes.
Of course, it's Ollie. He's come to join us. This is going to be very exciting. You've seen him before. He is incredible, and I'm just so glad that he's here, really.
Has he come all the way from space?
He has come all the way from space. We need to find him. Where do you think he is? I've definitely seen him here before.
Ollie?
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 Where are you, Ollie?
Ollie? Ollie? Ollie?
Ollie?
Ollie? Ollie? Ollie? Ollie? Ollie? Ollie? Ollie? Ollie?
Where are you,
Ollie? 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 Where is he? Where is he? Ollie? Ollie? Oh!
There he is! Yes.
Ollie! Ollie! Were you there this whole time? I think that he was. Let's take him in.
Yay!
Ollie! Come on, Ollie. Come and join us. Oh, so exciting. I'm so glad that you're here. This is so good. Woo! I've really missed you, man. I need that over there. This is big. This is so big. What's so exciting about this is Ollie's intro is just so long, isn't it? It just goes on for such a long time.
It really does, it really does. He's here, though. He's here. Hooray!
He's such a diva.
Ah, yes.
Why is it that long? We don't even get that long. Oh.
What?
He's such a nightmare.
What's he
every
saying?
single time. Oh, hey Ollie, how have you been? Did you go out last night? Good, that's really good. Who did you go out with? Oh, was that Cher? Did you say Cher and Graham Norton? Oh, okay, wonderful, great. Ed Sheeran, I'm with you. Great, very rock and roll, very rock and roll.
Very, yes.
So, of course, Ollie is here. He doesn't want to play nursery rhymes. He wants to play house tunes. It's very exciting. And he's chosen to perform to you today, some of you have seen this already, Insomnia by Faithless. Very, very exciting.
Yes. Are you ready, Ollie?
Check this out. Are you ready? Right.
He says yes.
Boom. Check this out.
Whatever's been going on, get up off your sofas and everybody have a good old dance to this now. Come join me.
Are you ready? Right. Everybody bounce, go! I can't get no sleep. amazing. Thanks, guys. Thank you so much for watching us. Special thanks to the Wiltshire Music Centre. Incredible, amazing.
We've absolutely loved it today. We hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Go and do all the other fun stuff that they've got programmed for you. Adam, it's over to you. Bye-bye from us.
Bye. See you later. Woohoo!
Thank you very much, Steph and Craig, for that fantastic show. Guys, did you enjoy it from where you were?
Yeah, it was
Really good, really good.
I think Ewan and Samir in particular were rocking away to Insomnia at the end on Ollie the Octopus. It was a great number. Brilliant. Well, thank you for Rock the Tots for everything that you did just there. And thank you to all of you at home. We're delighted to receive yet more fantastic submissions of you all creating your projects at home. And we're going to start off with Joshua. Now, Joshua's been engaged with us all morning. He sent us a video showcasing his rocket. Let's have a watch of this, shall we?
This is my rocket. This is a jet that shoots them forward. These are the wings. These are the jets with cannons at the back. This is the top one. This is the force field that helps no monsters coming. And this is the sword. And you open it like this.
Brilliant. How cool is that? There were loads of things going on there. Samir, do you have any comments about that rocket?
That's amazing. I love the force field. That's pretty cool. I wouldn't have thought to bring something like that onto my rocket, to be honest. So
well, that
very
feels
impressed.
quite important. Yeah, it's for the heat shielding and everything that you were talking about previously. That's absolutely brilliant. Thank you, Josh. We now move on to Honor's rocket. Now, Honor's made her out of paper, and she's got an astronaut scrabbling up the side as well. And it's a really nice depiction of that rocket shape, Adonis. I don't know if you have any comments about that.
Yeah, the shape is really good as well, and I like the little astronaut as well over there. You can see the thrusters at the bottom as well. It's really good.
It's really good. You can get a really clear idea of everything that's going on there. Thank you so much, Honor. Now we move on to a joint effort. This is a bit of teamwork done by Bree and Bobby, who have set themselves up. Bobby looks particularly safe out the front with his goggles ready to go. I mean, there's some sort of den building equipment that they've used to create there. Again, we've got the shape going on here, Ewan. You could see them blasting off into space on one of these.
Yeah, it looks really good, really creative. It seems to fit them both in as well, which is good. And yeah, 10 out of 10, I'd say.
Brilliant stuff. And we also, so Bobby actually sent in a photo for the last task, which we didn't have time to show previously, but we just want to show it again, where he was asked to create his own self-portrait there, and there he is with it. Thank you so much for that, Bobby, and sorry for not getting to that earlier, but you've done an absolutely brilliant job on that as well, so thank you so much for that. We're now moving on to another video, and I believe this is Emily, who's out in her garden. I think she's in the same garden as Josh this morning. Here is her rocket ship. Let's have a look across this now.
This is my rocket. These are all the fire that comes out, and the fire's down there too. And that's so baddies don't get up to stop them. And the sword is right there. And this is the smoke going up there.
A brilliant effort, Emily, and it seems like you've got defence very much at the heart of your design there as well. Brendan, I don't know if you have anything to say about that one.
Yes, it's a very smart move from Emily to keep herself safe inside the rocket from any monsters. And also there's a lot of thrusters there, so we can tell she can take that rocket very far, very far.
And you'd have to go quite a long way, I imagine, Samir, to reach our first stars. And that was kind of the focus of the topic that you gave to our project competition participants. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about the fantastic project competition entries that you received, seeing all of the great things that happened around stars.
Oh, it's been wonderful to be part of this project and see all the different submissions from some of the kids that have sent stuff in, whether it be videos or Minecraft worlds or building rockets in their backyard. It's been a pleasure to be part of it.
Brilliant. And we're going to go through a few of those a little later on today when we're looking at our project competition prize giving, which will be coming up straight after this. Let's first go to a couple more submissions. We've got Libby's painting here. Now, Libby's done a little bit of a drawing there and has got some really great detail on there. Adonis, I don't know if you want to talk about that at all.
Yeah, very great detail. You can see the fins, the engine, the thrusters, and everything's really good.
And there's the fire coming out the back as well, and that's certainly the image that comes to mind. And you've got the actual shuttle on top there as well, which is really nice detail. Thank you so much, Libby. We really like that. And we're going to be finishing off with Quinn, who has been busy this morning. Look at that. There's all sorts going on. I think foil is probably a good choice. You could get into space with that. Don't you think, Ewan?
Yeah, that looks really good. It's a nice 3D model, and clearly used some different items from around the house. Yeah, it's really good.
It's a really nice imaginative design, and we've really enjoyed going through all of them. Thank you to everyone who's taken part in all of our projects today. We loved seeing all of your photos, and we're going to be sharing those not only in this video, but we'll be sharing on our social media as well to showcase all of your fantastic hard work. So thank you so much for that. And I want to close again focusing on the project competition, which we're about to wrap up in. And Brendan, I don't know again if you can talk about the importance of continuing to study science outside of the classroom with everyone at home at the moment. Even when they're coming back into school now, there are still so many opportunities for them to explore, and this has been a really great way to do it.
Yeah, there are definitely so many different aspects of space and stars that you can look into that obviously there's too many to cover them all in school. And if you research them all in your own time away from school, then you can focus more on the things that fascinate you and the ones that interest you the most, and you can find passions through there.
And it's great to find that passion, and I think that that's the thing that we've seen from everyone who's taken part today. Folks, thank you so much. We really appreciate having you on and for all of your insight. So thank you ever so much, and see you again very soon.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Thanks all.
Cheers, guys.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Brilliant. And as they disconnect from the wormhole communication portal, we again say thank you to everyone who made this event possible. Our brilliant acts, Fun Science, Rap Science and Rock the Tots. Our fantastic in-house team here at Wiltshire Music Center, the brilliant Dan Thomason, our technical manager, our creative learning and community engagement head, Cassie Tate, who is also in the building with us at the moment, scrabbling away behind the scenes to make it all happen. Mostly thanks to you for your fantastic hard work, both in this session and also in the project competition as well. The project competition, as we've been saying throughout, is an opportunity for kids aged 5 to 11 to engage in a topic of their choice. We had so many fantastic submissions, all of whom we talked to in our Meet the Judges session. Our judges were the University of Bath students that you saw earlier today, and we say an enormous thank you to the University of Bath Physics Department, to Dr. Francis Lawton and Dr. Emma Osborne, both of whom were highly influential in delivering this project. We are also grateful to the Institute of Physics, who helped fund this event and fund a number of science communication events across the region. Thank you so much for your support. Now, every single person who took part in the project competition will receive a fantastic certificate, which I will be sending through tomorrow, showcasing all of the fantastic judges' comments from everything that they're saying. Now, we have 6 special prizes to award for different age categories and research topics. Those were people who just showed a particular extra spark. There was something new and exciting to what they're doing. But every single participant was absolutely amazing, and we're so grateful for all of your engagement. Now, the winners of the prizes will be winning 3-month digital subscriptions to Whiz Pop Bang magazine, and we are very grateful for the generous donation that Whiz Pop Bang have provided. They are a fantastic online resource to continue your scientific study from home, and if you're not a part of the project competition, you can sign up to them. Google Whiz Pop Bang magazine and you can find out all about their offer online. So, in no particular order, we shall go through the special prize winners, starting off with our 4 to 6 year old category. Now, this is our youngest category for the project competition, and we are delighted to announce that the winner of this category is James. Now, James did a fantastic, there's the applause. James did the most fantastic project on his Minecraft. He designed a very own solar system and explored a load of different stars. It was an absolutely fantastic project. Well done to you, James. We will be sending through a magazine subscription. Now, our next prize category is for the 7 to 9 year old age category, and that was won by Honor. Thank you so much, Honor, for your brilliant project. And the judges were so impressed at your great understanding of your topic and the detail that you provided. You asked loads of fantastic questions, and that's what we do in science all the time, is to ask questions and explore more. So thank you so much, Honor. A digital subscription will be coming your way. Now we go to our 10 to 11 age category, and this prize was won by Leela, who has also been on the call today. Let's have a look at hers. And what a wonderful project it is. You will have seen in the compilation video we had right at the start, you will have seen all of the stars opening up, and you see the detail in her project that she put together. Thank you so much for your hard work in exploring your topic. We really enjoyed it. A digital subscription is coming your way. Now, we also have special prizes for our topics as well, and we start off with scale, and the first winner of that prize is Brett. Brett worked out, wait for the applause. Well done, Brett. Now, you see, he might be looking like he's measuring his house out there. He did measure his house. He measured it using playing cards, and he worked out that it was quite a lot of playing cards at all. He did a really fantastic hard work, and although he wasn't able to join us to talk through his project, his demonstration in his video, which you saw clips of earlier, was absolutely fantastic. So a worthy winner, I'm sure you'll agree. Our next one is for the sound category, and this prize was won by Alec. Alec did a fantastic job exploring the different sounds that he could make with his piano. I'm a pianist myself, and you can make all sorts of weird noises on there, but what happens when you put paper and metallic foil in there? Well, Alec explored that in some detail, and he was really knowledgeable about his topic. The judges were impressed at his knowledge of words, including amplitude and pitch, and for his creativity in the project. So well done, Alec. A digital subscription will be coming your way. And finally, the topic winner for the stars category, and this has been won by Rayanch. Rayanch submitted his video from India and submitted the most staggering 7-minute presentation on the life cycle of the stars, with loads of fantastic pieces of information. The judges were absolutely blown away. They called you a star for the future, said you did some absolutely great research and that you really knew your topic. So thank you so much for taking part in this year's competition, and a digital subscription to Whiz Pop Bang magazine will be coming your way as well. Thank you so much. Everyone who has taken part in this year's project competition has been utterly fantastic and we've loved it. Thanks to them. Thanks to you at home for being a part of My Science Fair. Wiltshire Music Center is a community centre and concert hall based in Bradford-on-Avon. We have been your hosts for today. We have continued to deliver online, but we're opening up the building slowly but surely for musical and educational opportunities for all ages. To find out more about our delivery as well as donating towards our work, please visit www.wiltshiremusic.org.uk. That's www.wiltshiremusic.org.uk. We really hope we are able to bring you back to Wiltshire Music Centre next year for more My Science Fair fun. But in the meantime, it's goodbye from me. Have a wonderful day and keep exploring.